Going live. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. Are we live? We are live. Welcome, 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 one and all. Jujutsu Kaisen. The final 6 chapters in my case. The final chapter reactions. All done for all you guys and gals in one tightly knit little stream of mine. It's been a while since I've done a stream. It's been a while since I've talked Jujutsu Kaisen, of course. So, what are we going to do about this? Well, we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, I was spoiled on one major thing. Technically two. Two major things. We'll get to it once we get a few people in here and stuff like that. We'll get to it. I was spoiled on 2 things. So, we'll talk about that before I start the reaction. Now, I had to play a little bit of catch-up, and then just before the stream, I reread, chapter, 262 up to 264 here, just to refresh my memory, because I didn't really read. It's just that people would at me at certain things, this happened and that happened, and then I would end up reading the chapter. So, but yeah, what we're going to do today is very straightforward. We are going to be reading, as the thumbnail presents, the last 5-6 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen. Chapter 271 dropped, apparently. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it in a very casual way. I'm curious to see what was wrapped up, what was explained, what wasn't, that kind of deal, right? But as I said, there are 2 things that I've been spoiled on thus far. Number 1 is between chapters 265 and the last one, 271, I hear Nobara has returned. Okay? That's spoiler number 1. I was spoiled on that because somebody added me immediately and said in a Discord and basically said, "What do you think about Nobara's returning?" And I'm like, I'm not actually keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen and haven't really been, but I don't know. You know what I mean? So there was that. Number 2 is that apparently a lot of people don't think this ending is very good. I haven't seen any context as for why, but apparently it's not really that great an ending. So I didn't really expect it to be because I haven't really been enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen for a while. There's a lot of plot points that are dropped. There's a lot of unexplained things, stuff like that. So, yeah. And as I said, so I caught up. The last chapter I actually read was chapter 264. Was the last chapter I had actually read. And I basically, when I say read, I scanned through it. Okay? I skimmed through it. I was like, okay, they fight. Because, honestly, once again, I think that the power system has plot holes and problems. And if you have to write 3 paragraphs to explain away why this isn't working or why this simple thing is not working, your power system is too fucking complicated. I've always had that complaint about Jujutsu Kaisen. So instead, I sort of stopped reading the big pieces of dialogue and just said, okay, they fight, and here's what's been going on and stuff, right? So, that's all I've been doing. But for this stream, I did play a little bit of catch-up. I reread, I think it was 260, 259, something like that, and I read up there. I read up basically to where Yuta ended up taking Gojo's body. And it was the big, has Gojo finally returned? Has he gotten on a plane? Did he stay in the airport? Did he go north? Did he go south? Where did he go? And yeah, so I read that whole sequence. I know people didn't really like that sequence. It was okay for me, even as a big Yuta fan. So it is what it is. But yeah. Caden's in here and says, "Sup, have not seen you in a while." No, I know, I've been busy and I haven't been doing streams. Caden said, "Gojo, the strongest. Sukuna had to jump him and use the strongest 2 spirits to help him use binding vows to win." See, this is something that I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. But there are a lot of, because you're either called, if you think that on a rematch that Sukuna wins 10 out of 10 times, I disagree with that. I think Gojo actually has a true shot of beating Sukuna straight up without the stealing 10 shadows. I think Gojo can straight up beat Sukuna. Not all the time, but I think there is a probability that Gojo wins in a rematch fight with just Sukuna versus just none of this extra bullshit. But if you say that, you're automatically deemed you're a Gojo fan and you're butthurt. So, you can't converse with these people. You know what I mean? Not to get political, but it's like trying to argue. If you're in the gray, if you're in the middle of the road, if you're on the left or you're on the right, but you're not hammering it down. If you try to convince a zealot or an extreme left person or an extreme right person, you're just like, listen, maybe there's a chance of, no, you're the devil, you're evil, you're whatever, right? You know what I mean? So anybody in that extreme camp, and the Gojo hate is strong. The hate for Gojo and the fans are strong. So, so you can't really bring that up. But yeah, I do believe that Gojo had a better shot. I think that was poorly written. It's still one of the most egregious things I've ever seen for a character death ever done in manga. And I've read hundreds. And I still think it's one of the worst deaths for a main character. I think it is the worst main character death I've ever seen. It was very poorly written. You can like Jujutsu Kaisen. You can like the fact that Sukuna beat Gojo. You cannot sit back from a narrative and character constructive writing and, from a criticism standpoint, from an objective, unbiased standpoint, you can't tell me that was well handled or well written. That's not an opinion. That's just wrong. It's like when you judge your favorite movie. My favorite movie is the original Top Gun. I know it's not an Oscar-winning movie. That doesn't take away my enjoyment of Top Gun being my favorite movie, but I know there are flaws, and when people point them out, I just say, yeah, there's a little pushback maybe for depending on your argument, but I sit back and go, okay. Same with my favorite band, Bon Jovi. I know he is not the best singer of all time. And I know that their music is not considered the best of all time, undisputed. I'm fine with having a favorite and knowing they aren't the best undisputed in the world. And that's sort of the difference, I think, when we talk. Manga fans, anime fans in general, seem to be incredibly, and it's growing more and more toxic in that regard, I think. But yeah. Caden said Gege said he might spin off. Oh, really? Okay. Caden said, if his true form could help him in the fight, he would have used it. That's in Sukuna's character to use whatever would help him in the fight. Fair enough. Caden said, might make a spin-off or a sequel. Alright, fair enough. Alright, anyways, we've been here for 8-ish minutes. We started the stream, so we're going to be jumping into chapter 265. As I said once again, I was spoiled on two things. Sort of a spoiler and a half. One, that Nobara returned. That was outside of my control. I don't know how, when, why, or if they explain it, but Nobara's return. I know about that. And number two, as I said, a lot of people very unhappy with the ending. Not surprising, really. So, anyways, let's just jump right in. And also, at the end, on Reddit, I did happen to find a huge list. I didn't read it, but there was this one that was gaining a lot of traction and trending. It's this huge post, I think from Twitter, of all the problems and all the things that weren't explained by the end of the series now that the final chapter has come out. And I'm curious to go through that list once I'm done, so I'll probably do that at the end of the stream. But yeah. So anyways, without further ado, chapter 265 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, as I said, I did read 3 or 4 chapters before this stream, so I am caught up. Yuji apparently has a domain, and he entered domain expansion, and it seems to be Harry Potter 2.0. We already did the Harry Potter scene with Gojo's death, and now we're doing the same thing here. I'm bringing you, but this one is the perfected version. See, Gege screwed up when he did the Gojo Harry Potter scene. What he did was he put it in an airport. This time he's just blatantly stealing and saying, we're going to the train station, Sukuna. So, anyways. Alright, let's just jump into this. So we don't know what this domain's name is. We don't know what its purpose is. Why is Sukuna not in his original form? He's in his Yuji body with the markings and stuff. And he seems to be, like, trapped in this sequence. Sort of like Takaba's domain, where it's like, no, you're part of a comedy routine. The hospital is created, and you're part of a nurse station and all this stuff, right? It's completely enveloped the world around it, inside the barrier, as it were. So that's, from my understanding, that's how it's going. So when we start off chapter 265, they're officially going down an escalator. Okay, so Sukuna's going along with this, I guess. On rare occasions, dueling sorcerers bond with each other. I think it's a side effect of cursed energy arising from human emotion. Alright, this is Sukuna talking. But this is different. What's going on? Is this your domain? Chapter 265, entitled That Day. So that's interesting. Sukuna doesn't actually understand this is not a domain like any he's seen before. We know that Yuta's took them to sort of the barrier was sort of a rubble battlefield with all the swords around that Yuta could use. And as I said, we've seen Takaba's domain, and we've seen other types of domains, but this one is sort of all-encompassing somehow, and they're not fighting. So it's interesting. He's like, it's a side effect of human emotion, but this is weird. Okay. So even Sukuna isn't sure what this domain is actually doing. And then we say, how should I know? Says Yuji. I pulled it out in the middle of Mortal Kombat. Wait, what? Okay, alright. Already starting off, Sukuna's basically like, this could be something like a domain. I'm not sure. Brat, is this your domain? Yuji, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You literally put the fingers together and said domain expansion. What do you mean you don't know what this is? This is your domain, bud. I just wanted to talk, so hear me out. We're not really going to do that, are we? We're not really going to sit back here and take from Naruto. We're not going to talk no jutsu, the main bad guy. We're not really going to do that. The one good thing, even though I haven't enjoyed and I have a lot of critiques about how this fight has gone down and blah, 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 Sukuna is just an irredeemable, I'm king of the world, and I'm fucking evil. And that's where it's going to stay. So please, Yuji, if he does the Naruto talk no jutsu, that's fine as long as Sukuna is not swayed whatsoever and he's just like, fuck off, brat, I'm a prick. Right? Like, that is the redeeming, that is what actually sets Sukuna as a villain apart from other basic tropey shonen villains. Sukuna is actually a very good villain in the fact of that simplicity. Similar to Frieza, he's just fucking evil. He just is. He's a tyrant because he wants to be. There's no tragic backstory. There's no romanticized notion of killing the world to save it or any of this gray area bullshit. He's just fucking evil. You know, that's a good thing. So please don't do this to me, please. Let's see. Okay, so, oh look, Oni Kenbai. What the hell is that? Alright, Sukuna's like, yeah, what the hell are we doing? So Sukuna's going along with this. It must be similar to Takaba when Kenjaku tried to resist. Sukuna is sort of, I guess, forced along throughout. This has to be his domain, because why would Sukuna go along with it? But yeah, so why wouldn't he just punch him? So yeah, so he's going along with it. This must be the domain. Don't worry about it. It's only the locals know. So he points out a statue. Sukuna asks, well, what the hell is that? Don't worry about it. Then why point it out? Oh my god, I would be frustrated if I was Sukuna. I was born in Sendai, but Gramps had to move for work. I lived here until I was 6 or 7, when then I went back to Sendai. Not long ago, I came back for the first time in almost 10 years for the funeral of a friend of my Gramps. I didn't expect to see it so run down. It wasn't completely abandoned, though. Well, not that I was surprised. To be honest, it's what I was expecting, so it didn't make me feel anything. That's interesting. Okay. Is he going to say he accepts time changes things, you got to grow up? Is this like the coming of age speech? Like, things can't stay the way they were from when you were a kid as much as you want them to? Is that where we're going with this? Sukuna is not saying much. If Gramps had died first, would his friend have come to his funeral? I mean, different people behave differently, so you would like to think so, right? You know, when I kick the bucket sooner rather than later, I'm going to assume that family and friends and maybe a couple of co-workers will show up, right? I'm going to make that assumption, you know. Let's see. I always played in this park. Okay, so they're just moving through this place. I always played in this park. Most of the playground equipment's gone. I got my foot stuck in the swing once. I thought I died. It was bound to happen. I washed off my toy slime here after I dropped it in the sand, and I cried because it went all down the drain. So, are we just going through memory lane, and Sukuna's like being dragged along? Morning Glories. Morning Glories, yeah. Those don't look like Morning Glories. Those look... I was about to say, those are hydrangea, dumbass. Yeah, because I actually have a hydrangea I brought back to life this summer. So, yeah, okay. That's a hydrangea, dumbass. I was like, yeah, that kind of looks like what I've got outside my house. Mine's very pretty. It's got nice blue, baby blue flowers come off of it. It's quite nice. Yeah, I like that Sukuna's like, listen, I might be the most evil son of a bitch. However, get your fucking botany right, brat. I will not stand for you calling the wrong flower, this flower, by the wrong goddamn name. You know, this is an oak tree, this is a pine tree. Get it right, or we're coming back to blows. We can forget the domain expansion. You know, like, that's kind of fun, actually. I kind of like that moment. That's nice that, like, even Sukuna's like, oh, for God's sakes. Like, those are not morning glories. You know? Like, that's something that would piss me off. So, yeah. All right. Cheers to Sukuna for that one. I know. My bad. No, you didn't know. That's why you called them morning glories. Jesus. I only started noticing them after moving to Sendai, but they grow a lot around here. Who decides what gets planted in public spaces? You know the names of flowers, huh? I think those two shots should be reversed, because you said those are hydrangea genres. You know the names of flowers, huh? He's doing that like he's snarky, but Sukuna's been around a long time. Like, eventually you get bored, you know what I mean? It's sort of like Groundhog Day. Eventually you learn to ice sculpture, you know? But yeah. You know, names of flowers. Must be Megumi Fushigoro's memories. Oh, my bad. My bad. I guess, so Fushiguro is into botany? Alright. Oh, right. Then you should be familiar with this area from my memories. I don't access every single memory. Right, guess not. Oh, so Sukuna's basically saying, like, yeah, I have both of your memories, but it's not like I paid attention to them all. Or access them all. This park is from my place. It's far from my place, but there are crayfish. Here, try to catch one. Or can't the strongest sorcerer do this? Silence, he's grabbing it. So, are they like... So, I'm not understanding the purpose of the domain expansion. Is it literally like, okay, alright, domain expansion, let's go for our walk. You know what I mean? Like I'm not understanding the purpose. There's not... I'm assuming the sure hit effect is in play. That's why Sukuna has to go along with Yuji and his dialogue and everything. And that's the point of the sure hit effect. I'm okay with that. But it's almost like they're rivals going on a date. You know what I mean? Like a like a bromance date or something, though they're not really bros, or, well, they kind of are. They're more like cousin, and, you know, or whatever. But, yeah, so, okay. So, the domain expansion, so I'm going to, as I said, go on a limb and say the reason Sukuna's going along with this is the sure hit effect, and he doesn't really have a choice. Yuji, on the other hand's domain expansion is coffee date sort of idea. I mean, okay, but eventually it has to end. So his domain expansion is sort of like, unless there's something at the end here that's going to be like something really dangerous or something. I don't know. Like if Sukuna just goes along with this until it runs out, like, I don't know how this domain expansion is going to defeat anybody. Like, other than if Talk no Jutsu works. You know what I mean? So let's try to catch one. Okay, so they're going to catch him. Yours is dinky. Yours is an American crayfish. The Japanese kind is rarer. Huh? What? Okay. So yeah, they caught two types of crayfish, crawfish, you know. They're tiny little lobster-like things. They built this department store. Okay, we're moving on. They built this department store when I was 5. It ran all the smaller stores out of business. It sucked, but there's a movie theater on the top floor, so I guess I was fine with it. Okay. The town's pretty colorless. Spelt wrong. But there's a lot of greenery close by, so don't worry. What makes you think I care? Yeah, like, don't worry about what? Is his domain expansion going to be like something crazy, like I'm trapping you here in my memories for life? Like that? Okay, wait a minute. Is Yuji's domain, this could be broken, and maybe it doesn't make sense, but once again, the power system, in all honesty, I'm sorry guys, it's not perfect. It's certainly no alchemy, right? There are plot hole problems. There are holes in this power system. But I'm sure somebody could explain away the reason he's showing him around and being like, hey, this is this. Hey, this is that. Hey, you know, you might enjoy this, blah, blah, blah. Hey, there's greenery around and stuff. What makes you think I care? What if his domain expansion trapped in here with me forever? And there's nothing you can do about it. There's no way out. There's no exit. His domain expansion is like Final Getsuga Tensho. It's final. Yuji doesn't come back, but neither does Sukuna, and they're trapped there inside the domain for eternity. It's an eternal domain. Kind of broken, kind of cool. I don't think we've ever brought up the fact, what if there was a domain that was permanent? What if that's Yuji's trump card here? He's the main character. Why not? Why wouldn't he have a broken domain that was like, this is permanent? It's invincible. It's a one-shot deal. It's Mugetsu. It's, you know, like, okay. That's just the I'm wondering how right I am about that. Let's keep going. Look, green, as far as the eyes can see. I used to fill my bug case with grasshoppers from the rice fields, but you don't see many anymore. Maybe pesticides have improved. Sukuna. Hey. Hey, so he's trying to interrupt. Wait, there's another place I want to go. Wow, and we're seeing horses and stuff. Aren't horses great? Their heads are always bigger than I remember. Grant's brought me to this farm sometimes. When I think about it now, he did a lot of stuff for me in place of my real parents. The soft serve ice cream here was awesome. I'd blow my whole allowance on it, eat too much and puke. So you were always a dumbass, huh? I mean, at least Sukuna hasn't lost his personality in this chapter. As I said, I'm under the belief the sure hit effect is, you know, yeah. So you're always a dumbass. Hey, let's do some archery. Okay, now we're doing the Inuyasha thing. We're going to the archery thing to talk. And Sukuna's great at this. Okay. Sukuna's great at this. Yeah, he's getting bullseye. You're no fun. Well, I have more experience at this. Oh, right. Back in the day, huh? In the winter... Okay, now it's winter time at the farm. In the winter, they would display snow sculptures for the snow festival. I wonder if they still do that. It doesn't snow much nowadays in Sendai either. Without snow, it never feels like winter. I will agree. I've been in places... even in Canada, it starts snowing later and later and later. It's still cold, but it doesn't snow in like November, December anymore. It's more like Christmas, post-Christmas time into January when we actually get hit with real snow. Just flurries up until then, right? I love to shovel snow and then drink sweet milk tea while my hands were still numb from the cold. Gramps always looked disgusted. Yuck, your mouth will get sticky. Black coffee. Yeah. One night, when it was almost Christmas, I thought I heard bells. That made me think Santa really existed. Oh, that's sweet. Later, I realized it was snow chains that I had heard. Alright, Sukuna's like, alright, he's done enough. They've gone to all these places. Hey, enough of this. Okay, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. So, he wanted to show him things that he already really had in his memory banks. They didn't really talk about, hey, you're an evil person, hey this, hey that. They're literally just, as I said, going on like a bromance date. They're going on a little like a stroll through the park, a walk through. It's sort of like just a first date sort of idea, right? Or a trip down memory lane. Maybe the domain expansion is called Memory Lane. Not a bad name for a domain expansion, honestly. Memory Lane. Talking like this gives me the creeps. Well, you haven't been saying much of anything. Yuji's just been downloading on you, and you've been letting it happen. What are you trying to say? Okay, so Sukuna's had enough. Yuji, until recently, I thought life was about understanding your role and trying to fulfill it. If I had died doing that, then I could say I died a good death. But now I don't think that's right. Alright, so we're seeing Junpei, Nanami, his grandfather. I mean, that's not a bad statement. Life is about understanding your role and trying to fulfill it. Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I tried to be a provider. I tried to be the best husband I could be. See how that all worked out. But yeah, he's saying, if I died doing that, I could say I died a good death. And see, I still believe that. You know what I mean? Last year, had I died, I would have had regrets, not living long enough, spending more years with my wife, never having kids, that kind of idea. But assume that all stays intact 20 years, I think I'd die happy fulfilling the role of husband and father. You know what I mean? So, but he says he doesn't think that's right anymore. I'm curious on where that's going to go. Because I see that argument. That's a good one. We'll just jump over to the chat so we can get caught up. I didn't realize the chat was going. We got 5 people in here and only 4 likes, though. Only 4 likes. Let's bump those likes up. All right, let's see. Where do we leave off? Caden, The Running Man is the best movie of all time. All right. And you're allowed to say that. Caden said, people think Yuji is stronger than Gojo. No. Nope. Because he's the one that beat Sukuna. But, well, spoilers, but I sort of assumed Sukuna was going to be beat by the main character. But let's just watch the spoilers, boys. But if you put him up against Sukuna at full power, like Gojo went against, he would die way faster. Yuji needed everybody's help. Oh, absolutely. Like, Gojo was the only one, then Yuta, then, yeah, like, there's people that have a better shot at surviving Sukuna longer than Yuji did. Naden said, Naruto never talked no jutsu to Madara. I mean, no, but he did. Well, he was assumed to be Madara for a while. Kane said he only talked to Zabura, Pain, Gaara, and Sasuke. No one else. Yeah. Sure. He never talked no jutsu another Uchiha. Kane said, all Sukuna is a parasite. Tell me what a parasite does, and tell me what it doesn't fit Sukuna perfectly. I mean, there you go. That's a good analogy as well. Philip is in here. Hello, Philip. Says, JJK probably had a good ending. Probably? Okay, I heard a lot of people didn't like it. So, Kane said, it was so-so. Alright. Philip says, you do realize JJK will end, but it's getting a sequel. Okay, I heard it wasn't. I heard the announcement was not related to a sequel. But, okay. And if that's the case, once again, then it still sours the ending here. No different than Four Knights of the Apocalypse is currently doing to one of the first mangas I reviewed week to week, which was Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Taizai, had a shit last arc, a shit ending, a shit last 30 chapters, which made no sense because if you were going to, we're getting canceled, but we're getting a sequel, why cancel the series? Why not spend your time, write 50 chapters instead of 30 and finish it properly? Then write your sequel series if you still want to. Or don't stop the series in the first place if you have a lot more to tell. Making sequel series and spin-offs is one of the biggest, this is just a cash cow and I don't actually care sort of thing. We could get into that 1,000 ways. But yeah, that would rub me the wrong way. If I was still a JJK fan, I would, that would bother me. Philip said, also, Sukuna over Gojo. Nah. Philip said, Sukuna wasn't even 20 finger. He technically was, because of the whole he ate his old corpse and the Tengen shit. He was at full power. He's at full power during this fight. Philip said, plus, Urame said that Sukuna was weakened because he wasn't in his OG body. No, they fixed that. They put him in his, he ate his old body, didn't he? Wasn't that the whole point of the pool and all that crap? I don't know. I don't really care enough on the power scaling side of things. Gojo's a cooler character, and he was written very poorly the way he died. And 10 Shadows mattered a lot. That's the only takeaways that I have, really. You want to say Sukuna's way stronger or whatever? I mean, sure. I don't care enough about it. Philip said, so Sukuna versus Gojo is mostly close, but Sukuna high diffs. I mean, as I was saying at the beginning, I said Sukuna doesn't 10 out of 10 win against Gojo. I think Gojo wins 1 or 2 of those matches. I'm not saying Sukuna doesn't win the majority of those matches. I'm saying that it's not 100% guaranteed Sukuna beats Gojo every time from full strength both times. Take away 10 Shadows, and I put money back on Gojo, personally. But that's just me. Philip said, Sukuna got scaled to country level. When? When did he destroy a whole country? They've been fighting in a city and blowing up a city at best. I don't know when he got scaled to country level, but okay. Maybe that's in the next chapter. Kane said, Sukuna had to jump Gojo and use a binding vow and catch Gojo off guard. True. The whole binding vow thing, that's another thing that bothered me. Gojo didn't use a single goddamn binding vow. Sukuna has used 18. So, give Gojo, remind him that binding vows exist, and now all of a sudden you have a far fairer fight. Philip said, Junpei was wasted potential either way. I like Junpei. The shock value, Junpei was there for shock value, I believe. So, fair enough. But yeah, I didn't mind Junpei. Kane said, in every exchange they had, Gojo came out on top. True. Philip said, my guy, Gojo had to hit Sukuna with a hollow purple that caught him off guard. He hit him with hollow purple twice. Philip said, yo, bro, quick question. You hyped for JJK sequel? No, not really. I stopped reading JJK because of the shitty writing. So, I won't be picking it up for a long time. I might catch up on my free time, but I really have to like a series to review it. If it's not as, when a certain level of quality of writing starts to drop and there's more problems than answers, then I usually stop reviewing a series, and if I stop reviewing it, I don't have a high opinion of the series. So, no, I probably won't be checking that out. I didn't check out Four Nights of the Apocalypse until it was about 66 chapters deep. That's how much of a bad taste in my mouth. And I love Seven Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins is still in my top 20 manga of all time. And I still had such a bitter taste in my mouth at the end of that I didn't follow that sequel series for a long time. We're talking a few years until I actually said, okay, I'll give it a go. You know what I mean? So, and I still like Seven Deadly Sins for the most part. So, that being said, that's not fair because I like Jujutsu Kaisen for the majority of its run. So, So, yeah. Philip said, Caden said, if he was in his OG body, he would have nothing that could take Gojo out. Yeah, 10 Shadows mattered way more than Sukuna fans want to say. That shit mattered. That Maharaga shit mattered so fucking much. Philip said Fuga, domain expansion, which he already beat. Black Flash, yes. They both can do Black Flash, though. And Hollow Purple wasn't even Gojo's. He had to revive himself to unlock it. What do you mean Hollow Purple wasn't even Gojo's? Hollow Purple is Gojo's. Caden said, and Gojo won in every single one of their clashes. Philip said, no, Megumi was weakening Sukuna from inside. Not at that point, not until Yuji jumped him. Not until Yuji started using his soul fist thing, which I never remember him having, but okay. Philip said, someone ain't coping tonight. It's afternoon, but am I coping? Am I the one coping? I don't know. I'm just reading the chat. Caden said, and Sukuna went night-night in the fight. If Maharaga did not help, he would have lost. 100%, that's my point. Frostleaf is in here and says, what Rami said is that they won only because Sukuna was incarnated. Which is true, because without Jacob's ladder and Yuji weakening his control on the body, they wouldn't have been able to win. I feel like that's spoilers. Are we talking Jacob's ladder from Utah? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be in this till I keep reading or something. Caden said, and guys, keep hitting the like button. I'm trying to catch up as quick as I can. Caden said, if he didn't have 10 shadows, he would have lost. I think so. Even when he had 10 shadows, he almost died. True. He had to use Maharaga as a blueprint to bypass infinity. True again. Philip said, y'all remember Yozuru? We didn't even see the thing that she gave to Sukuna. Nah, Gege had enough of the hate. Philip said, my guy, all Maharaga did was buy him time. It saved his life. And he had to fight 3v1. And it helped him bypass infinity. And it did a lot of shit. And 10 shadows didn't do anything. 10 shadows did... Okay. We're getting a little trolling here, but that's fine. Caden said 10 shadows is the reason he survived the final purple. True. Caden said because Big Daddy Maharaga took most of the attack to protect Sukuna. By the way, yeah, the world-cutting slash, the thing that actually killed Gojo, was Maharaga. Maharaga's the one who invented it. Sukuna used Maharaga to learn it in time before Gojo killed him. So, yeah, actually, 10 shadows was the literal thing that killed him. Sukuna didn't even use most of his abilities. Most of his abilities won't matter in the face of infinity with the 6 eyes. Kane said, I didn't see Gojo yell for help like Sukuna. True. Kane said Sukuna didn't use most of his abilities because it wouldn't have been able to do anything to Gojo. Right. Unlimited void and all that shit. Yeah. Anyways, we're jumping back to the end of finish off 265. I don't want to be here for 6.5 hours or anything. So now that we're caught up with the chat, we'll finish 265. So, we were leaving this off with the whole life and the role you design for yourself and decide to fulfill it. Just walking your dog and raising a family are also decent roles. Oh, well, then yeah, but that is my role. Like, that's the role I want, you know? And there's Nobara. Is this what they meant by Nobara's return? No, they didn't mean this. And even if all you do is eat and poop, or lie sick in bed, or don't connect with anyone and end up leaving nothing behind. Chozo. And there's Gojo. Instead of memories giving form to your life, small fragments of memory are out there anyway, floating around and giving your life value. I kind of agree with that, kind of don't, but we're not here for the whole psychology aspect. Mahito and Sukuna. How someone dies doesn't matter. That I agree with. How they die. Well, no, I don't even agree with that. Situational. But I can't forgive someone who acts as if those lives are worthless. Fair. That's why I hate you, Sukuna. Human beings aren't tools. They don't come into being with a predetermined role. Alright, fair enough. So we're saying there is no fate. There is no destiny. Good guys, bad guys, I don't know which is truly human. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong, but I just wanted you to know this stuff. I wanted to show you the livelihood of the people you see as having no value. Alright, Sukune. Yeah, I don't feel anything. Alright, Sukuna being just evil to the end. Just saying, no, I am a curse. I am the king. And I want to be. I'm not like this because of some tragedy. I'm just a bad person. I understand the words you're saying, but they don't stir any emotion. Let's go. Just like how you accepted this old dump of a town, I think, oh, so that's the case. But so what? Alright, so Talk no Jutsu apparently didn't work. Yuji, what's your domain actually do? Just as I expected. It's no use. I gotta say, I'm astounded at how spineless you are. Are your anger and hatred towards me really so piddling? Alright. And then Sukuna shocked. Boy, could it be? What is it? That you pity me? Alright, that's probably going to get him angry, but I don't see how that... Alright. Are you trying to be merciful? Let's see. That's right, Sukuna. I can kill you. I'm not going to lie. Yuji is not a great main character. He's okay. He fits the shonen role, but he's not a great main character. But I'm not going to lie. This is a cold ass stare. This is a cold panel in the best of ways. That's right, Sukuna. I can kill you. Free Fushiguro. I'll spare you if you return to me. Also, so he's just giving him an out. He's saying, I'll give you one chance. Come back into my body, sealed up, free Fushiguro, and I will not kill you. He's Yuji the... You're talking the talk, man. What does your domain do that makes you think you can kill him? One wrong black flash or something like that from Sukuna, and it's all over. If this was your last trump card, I'm just saying. Sukuna healed his RCT. You know, he's back to, you know, all this shit. All right. You're sorely mistaken. I'll tear you asunder, boy. Oh, Sukuna pissed. And then before your severed head, I'll kill all those humans you prize so much. End of chapter. Okay, so what does... I wonder if my theory's correct. What does this domain do? What does it do? Does this domain literally... Is this a permanent domain? Or is this a domain where he can seal anything? You know, inside of it or something. Can he permanently seal Sukuna for eternity inside the domain or something? Is it a permanent thing? Like, what is this domain actually going to do? I'm curious now. I'm very, very curious. So, anyways, just in case there's more spoilers, I'm going to move on to chapter 266, and then I'm going to catch up with the chat, okay? Hopefully there's not many spoilers, guys. If you did type spoilers for anything past that's really relevant, past 266, please delete your message now. I don't have a mod in the stream at the moment, I don't believe. So, please err on the side of caution with that one. Alright, let's see. Chapter 266. And we're jumping straight over to Megumi and Yuji talking. You've done enough. Huh? I wanted to create a world that wouldn't expose Sumiki to injustice and unhappiness. And she died. Chapter 266, Inhuman Makio Shinjuku Showdown Part 37. Jesus. And if I couldn't do that, then I at least wanted to preserve our fragile lifestyle as much as I could while I was still alive. I wanted to eat the food that I'm used to making, and gaze at the laundry hanging in the sun, and see Sumiki off as she walks side by side with someone like you in the afternoon light. Oh, Jesus. So, Megumi's just like, yeah, man, like, I just wanted the simple life. I didn't really care. I just wanted to relax. I wanted my sister to be happy, find someone who's, like, caring and a nice guy like you that she could, you know, fall in love with sort of idea. Man, he was matchmaking. He had this whole planned out. And it got fucked. His sister did. Then I think about how happy I was. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the simple life. And why do poor guys like Megumi and yours truly... all we want. We don't need to have a yacht. We don't need to be a famous singer. We don't need to have the fame, the money, the fortune. We don't need to constantly be moving forward, drive the fast cars, do this, do that. We would be so happy. Our life would be happy being simplistic. Just as long as we had good food on the table and a family who loved us. That's all we fucking need. and somehow we get kicked in the dick over it. I don't get it. I don't get it. The people with all of it, they cheat, they lie, they steal. They have the family life that that the guys like Megumi and myself want, and we're not allowed to have it. It's so sad. I relate to that. I feel that. You've done enough. So, Yuji. So, what happened in the domain expansion? Like this feels out of order, but this is chapter 266. Graham's sickness started as lung cancer. He rejected treatment early on because the side effects were so harsh. I would do the same if it's my time. I don't got enough. There's not really much of a future plan for me anymore. So there's no dream. The One Piece is out there for me anymore. So as a result, I'm just like, listen, I've seen people go through the treatment of cancer. It's the treatment that makes them so sick because it shoots their immune system. They get sick. I'm like, I ain't fighting for 3 years just to croak anyway and be bedridden. Fuck it. Die in 6 months and still on my own 2 feet. Fuck that. So I understand the grandfather's attitude. I'm strong, so I didn't understand the idea of refusing treatment for that reason. Euthanization, too. That was a concept completely foreign to me. I might have been able to endure his treatment, but he must have been suffering. But after going through what we went through at Jujutsu High, and thinking of those horrors as being never-ending, I've come to understand how people like Gramps felt like when confronting harsh reality. So, I guess I have no right to tell you that you have to live, Fushiguro. And then, boom, hollow wicker basket. Okay, so we were in the domain because there's the ending part of it. There's the birds, there's the trees, we're back into the fight. We're back into the fight. So, what did the domain do? What did the actual domain... It was literally it was Talk No Jutsu, the domain? I thought he had some trump card, like his domain was going to be a seal, it was going to be a never-ending barrier that Sukuna couldn't break out of, it was going to be something. But it just ended after he said, I can kill you, I'll give you this one shot, and now they're just back to the fight? I mean, okay. I don't understand what the domain did. We're back to the fight. His RCT is still back. Sukuna is beating your ass, Yuji. You're bloody. He's not. I mean, the statement was cold, but what did your domain do? You Talk No Jutsu'd him. It didn't work. Okay. Alright. Let's just move on. Satoru Gojo developed his own method of rehabilitating his brain to reset a cursed technique burnt out by a domain. Doing that, so, once again, Sukuna learning from Gojo in this one. Doing that now, while the brain's still affected by unlimited void, would be too risky. Oh, so he's still feeling the effects, even with his technique return with the black flashes and stuff. Unlimited void. See, Gojo's technique was without, like, nobody, even my favorite character, even Yuta and everybody else combined, without Gojo taking the initial front here, without Gojo, Sukuna doesn't get defeated. That's just a fact. None of them, all of them jumping him at once still wouldn't do it. Hollow Wicker Basket and Simple Domain have weaker outputs than domains that manifest mental images. Buying time until the domain can't miss attack hits would be possible, but at some point, getting overpowered is inevitable. Have weaker outputs. Buying time until the domains can't miss attack hits. But at some point, getting overpowered is inevitable. I get you. However, Sukuna is able to offset weak output by continuing the palm signs after activating Hollow Wicker. Right, because he's got 4 arms. So he could keep fighting without the domain overpowering him. And there's still the snow on the ground. There's the geese flying off. And so we're still Alright, so we're still inside the domain, but Sukuna can use hollow... Okay, so we're still inside the domain. I was mistaken. The domain isn't over. We're still inside the domain. It's just that Sukuna is using hollow wicker basket so that he won't be hit by it. It's not really affecting him anymore, the sure hit. So now they're going back to CQC. Alright, and boom, boom, ba-boom. Some CQC happening. Slam, boom. It's choreographed pretty good. It's looking good, but Sukuna doesn't look like... Yuji's taking all the hits. Yuji's getting his ass kicked inside his own domain. And now, it looked like he was flying out of his domain, but no, it seems like they might still be there. I don't know. Wahahaha. Even I'm surprised at how furious I get when someone looks down upon me. Like you with your pity. I can't wait to get payback on your beloved humans. And then we're jumping around. The transitions just... Yeah. Gege was never good at the transition thing. I'm like, when is this happening? Where is this taking place? Is it happening simultaneously? Like all these things. When is he talking to Megumi? Like when? Is this happening right now, like concurrently? Like he's distracted? Like he's having this conversation because of the punch? I don't know. What's with that look? It's young Megumi. It's lonely without you, Fushiguro. I mean, we didn't have enough because the manga, I'm going to say a 271 manga doesn't sound very short, but we didn't spend enough slice of life time or enough filler, like anime filler stuff with them, to really establish how much Yuji and Fushiguro had this friendship. It sort of came out of left field, like, wow, I wish you ended up with my sister. Like, whoa, where did that come from? You know what I mean? So, it's a little hard to be in the feels, but I do get it. It was a fast friendship based on crisis, and you end up becoming incredibly close, incredibly quick, when in extreme situations. So, fair enough. It's not hitting me as hard as I'm sure that scene's hitting others. Not bad, though. I just want to know, when is this happening? Is this happening due to the black flashes and the soul dismantling punches and stuff, and he's still technically he's still soul talking while fighting Sukuna? Did this all happen previously? I don't know. And then Sukuna goes down on one knee. Okay. So it must be happening. I assume that has something to do with Yuji's words. Malevolent Shrine got wasted, and my 10 Shadows technique has stopped functioning, so this is Megumi Fushiguro's. The boy's dismantle has breathed life back into the soul immersed in the bath. Okay, so it must be happening concurrently, because now Fushiguro is like, as Yuji said, I can't, force you to want to live anymore and stuff. Like, I'll just be lonely without you, I'll miss you and blah, blah, blah. And that's getting this little bit of seed back, the life back into him, you know what I mean? So, yeah, okay. And so the boy's dismantled, breathes. So it's actually hurting him from the inside like it was. And now Yuji's taking the opportunity, punches him right in the face, and he's going forward. They're back to CQC. Yuji seemingly gaining the upper hand here. No, they're both pretty evenly matched. They're punching each other literally in the temple, in the head. Let's see. I knew it. Reverse curse technique can't keep up with this boy's punches. That's impressive, Yuji. Good for you. And hollow wicker basket isn't going to last. And then... Oh, the slices, and breaks off the cursed tool. It was a cursed tool this whole... That was a gauntlet? It kind of looked like one, but the whole thing, I didn't realize his whole arm was right. I thought it was like the gauntlet was just like this size. I didn't realize it was a whole piece, which I assume is a cursed tool. I assume there's a reason for the gauntlets. Boom, he tries to punch him. Did Sukuna's curse technique replenish? That's Gojo Sensei's burnt out curse technique reset. Alright, so he's got it. Domain expansion. Sukuna's going to use domain expansion right now. He finally said fuck it. He got the slashes. And Yuji's missing 2 fingers? Yuji's missing 2 fingers. And all the way down, there's the last finger. The 20th finger of Sukuna. End of chapter. Okay. What the hell does that mean? When I reread... So, it was confirmed, though still doesn't really make a lot of... There's a little bit of retcon for JJK 0 for this to make sense. Or you could explain in a way that Gege just never explained. That when Rika was a soul, the whole having to eat a part copy didn't exist. Because he used cursed speech without eating a single part of Inumaki back then. He copied Inumaki's technique in JJK 0. When Rika was freed and stuff, this other version of Rika is far more limited. We knew that, but this part was never explained, like the consumption thing. That was explained. So, does that mean... Because he's... So when he was using cleave, that's why the second finger's gone. Sukuna believes... See, this is why I reread like the last half dozen chapters before this. So I would refresh my memory. So I'm like, why is he missing? Am I to assume that Rika ate not the Sukuna finger, but Yuji's finger to gain Sukuna's innate technique from Yuji? And now the actual finger still... But I don't know how that helps them. Like, he doesn't have the last finger, but he made up for that with his body and the Tengen corpse and all that, and the bath and all this craziness, right? He made up for that difference, but... Okay. Chapter 267, but I think we should catch up with the stream. Hopefully, there's not a whole lot of spoilers here. Let's see. Where did I leave off on? Let's see. And thank you guys very much for the 5 likes. Let's get that up to 6 likes, you know? Let's see. I was somewhere around here with Kaden and Philip arguing. Let's see. The guy... Sukuna didn't use most of his abilities because he wouldn't have been able to do anything to Gojo, says Kaden. Philip says, my guy Maharaga went from fighting the bacteria in the air to learn math to divide Gojo in half. Okay. Philip said, actually, Gojo might be alive. We don't know. Okay. Kaden said, is that part of the agenda? The hype is real? Kaden said, when Gojo released his final purple, Sukuna yelled for Maharaga for help. That's true. Philip said, it's crazy Mahito was proven to be more evil than Sukuna in the end. He still seems pretty... I mean, Mahito was sadistic. Was sadistic evil. Sukuna is just, I'm just going to overwhelm you and kill you. He's not like, I'm going to torture you and mentally break you. You know what I mean? That's not his deal. He doesn't get off like Mahito on it. So yeah, he's more sadistic evil for sure. Game said that's spoilers, bro, and not really. Okay. Oh, we got to 6 likes. Let's get to 7. Kane said, oh, is that spoilers? Well, it doesn't... It's spoilers, I guess, but it's not going to have context for me yet, so okay. Kane said, just more petty. Alright. Philip said, Caden, Sukuna is more experienced compared to Gojo, so he knows what to do. I mean, he is more experienced. I don't think anybody knows that. Frostleaf says, I mean, no, he's right, and it makes sense. Sukuna is a human, Mahito is a cursed spirit. There you go. Kane said, let's take off these recent chats, because that's kind of spoilers. He's not there yet. Alright, fair enough. Thank you, Caden. Thank you for that. Philip said, for some reason I feel like Sukuna would come back to life, hug Yuji, live inside Bro, become a half-father, Ozawa and Yuji, if you die with Yuji, easy life. Jesus, that's some fan fiction shit I've never heard before, but okay. Alright, you do you, Philip. Caden said, yes, Sukuna has more experience, but nothing in his bag would have helped him bypass Gojo's abilities. That's true. The furnace... the fire arrow thingy and his true form and all these things, nothing I've seen can just bypass Gojo. That's what he needed Maharaga for. That's why he wanted 10 shadows. Right, 10 shadows was something he actually really desired. Kaden said Sukuna would never do that. He would do it to be his own person. Rishi Raj says, hello Rishi, says, how the fuck did I end up here? Emoji. I don't know, you clicked on the live stream video? I don't know what to tell you. Why is bro yapping too much? Skull and another crying emoji. And Kaden, well, it's a reaction. What I generally do, and what I've seen most YouTubers do, and I'll try to keep this as non-sarcastic as possible, is when you click a video that says my reaction on it, generally I read and react. I discuss. I compare. I say what I'm thinking. Hence reaction. That's as best I can do without getting too sarcastically mean about that. Like, the whole point of watching a YouTube video is for me to talk. Do you want me to sit here and just read silently? I could, but I think that wouldn't be ASMR. That would just be fucking boring. So, Frostley says, what did the domain do? Yeah, what does it do? Frostley said, wouldn't you like to know? I would, in fact. I would like to know. Samuel is in here and says, Sukuna is using hollow wicker basket to nullify the sure hit. Yeah, I figured that out about halfway through, but still, I don't know what the domain is doing. I figured that the sure hit was putting him back in that body and forcing him to basically not attack Yuji and to follow around. It was like, you're coming on a walk through the park with me, Sukuna, like on a leash. His sure hit is the leash to force him to go through at Yuji's pace. I figured that was it. But it seems like he was able to hollow wicker basket the whole time. And Sukuna was just like, alright, what's this all about? And he literally just gave Yuji his monologue when he could have hollow wickered basket the whole time. But, I mean, I don't know. But that's seemingly what happened. Kane said, yes, I would. Pretty pleased with sugar. Kane said, hollow wicker basket is like a prototype for simple domain. Yeah. It's less refined. Francisco said, shut up. To who? To me? You're telling me to shut up? Or for the chat to shut up? I'm not sure. But once again, if this is like, Rishi, why am I yapping so much? You clicked on my video for my reaction. Generally, that involves me talking. So... Kane said, Gojo got Sukuna down to 1 HP. True, but everyone is just that much weaker than him. It's like a level 100 taking hits from level 20. He's getting hit, but there aren't enough hits individually, right? Kane said, who, me? I don't know. I don't know who he's talking to. But anyways, let's continue with chapter 267. We'll try to get through if we don't get through the whole chapter before a quick break. This cover, this little cover page is nice. This color cover page. We have some dogs on the main cast. You know, there's Naruto, there's Kakashi, there's Sasuke. Oh, sorry. Wrong series. But yeah, okay, there's Gojo, there's and there's Nobara with the puppies. Okay. Chapter 267. It's a nice color spread. Inhumane Showdown, yada yada yada. Part 38. Okay. It's Yuta! It's Yuta, baby. Okay, I assume this is a flashback. Yuta, you want Sukuna's last finger. What? You. Oh, okay. They're doing that body swap thing. Oh, Yuta and Gojo body swapping. Yeah, because didn't he mention that he did some of that shit? I think that was mentioned a few chapters ago. Yuta, you want Sukuna's last finger. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Yes, Gojo-sensei, you're hiding it, right? Oh, you had it. I can have Rika eat it to copy Sukuna's malevolent shrine. But even in your body, I can't read your memories. So they were training each other. Nope. Gojo. Can we discuss this seriously? I'm being serious. Yuta, that would satisfy the conditions for copy. After all, it's one of Sukuna's 20 fingers. But it isn't enough to get you an analytical breakdown of Malevolent Shrine. You're right. Even when it comes to cursed speech, there's a lot I don't understand without asking Inumaki. Huh? You can use it over the phone? Salmon. Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool with the whole throwing the tape recorder. It's the original one. It's like, no, I'm not copying. This is the original hollow purple motherfucker. Though I'm still against the fact that every time we have like a hit that clearly is going to do like super damage and or kill Sukuna throughout this fight, Jacob's ladder. It's not as powerful because she doesn't have an arm. No, makes no sense. And then like, oh, cleave. Doesn't do nearly what cleave can do because it's Yuta. And now, oh, yeah, hollow purple, because I'm not used to it. The hollow purple one, if they hadn't done the other ones, the hollow purple one I could forgive. Because it's like, yeah, Gojo is just that fucking good. And even Yuta, with all his power and all his, the second strongest and stuff, he's still below Gojo, and he can't master hollow purple like that, not to that degree. He can't use it as good as Gojo. I'm fine with that. But, yeah, the whole arm thing makes no sense. But, anyways, moving on, because that wasn't a chapter I read that today, but let's see. Then it's not a good idea to lose the connection to Sukuna at this point. It's a bet, or as Hikari would say, it's a fever. Besides, if you want to copy Malevolent Shrine, which he didn't really use that, he used cleave and stuff. Anyways, the conditions of my copy curse techniques requires Rika to consume a part of the target's flesh. The amount and part consumed change depending on who you want to copy and the number of times you want to use it. In order to copy a particularly strong technique, it's necessary to consume a body part that's more vital to the sorcerer. Okay, so that's what's happened with a lot of people. I didn't believe that theory, to be fair. I was wrong. I didn't believe in that theory. But that she needed somebody to eat, because it didn't make sense with JJK0. But now it's just I can explain that one away, but still, okay. But if it's not possible, you can satisfy the conditions by placing a binding vow on the number of times. So we're actually going to use binding vows finally. Like, Yuta and Gojo should have been using binding vows out their ass, just like Sukuna's been doing. Probably would have won this fight by now. So if you can use reverse curse technique, says Yuji. For example, copying Gojo Sensei's limitless curse technique might require taking his arm. But then he can just regenerate it. Why the hell didn't they do that then? That actually makes sense. It's like, okay, we have a month to prepare or whatever. Start eating people. We'll just restore it with our CT. We have you, we have Shoko, we have Gojo, we have Hime. We have people who can do shit. So Yuji says, so we should at least copy Gojo Sensei's and Hikari Senpai's curse techniques. Alright, Hikari's still around. No, that won't work. It won't? Let's see. When the consumed body part regenerates through reverse curse technique, the sorcery value hits 0, making it impossible to satisfy copy's conditions. We'll get to it. We made use of Inumaki and Kurusuru's arms after determining that regeneration was impossible through modern medicine and reverse curse technique. Charles temporarily lost part of his ribs. You'll fix me later, right? Yeah, later. Oh, Jesus. Todo told you about resonance, right? Yeah, that's why we're putting this into motion right before fighting Sukuna. Wait, resonance? Okay. Okay. So first, before we get to that, because isn't that Nobara's technique? Isn't that what she does with the nails? Resonance. And she sort of does what Yuji does. She attacks the soul, not the body. If I remember correctly, is that like a small, maybe a slightly simplified, but isn't that what she does? So wait a minute now. So, alright, so I just want to bring this one problem. So yeah, obviously, no, even that. So when the consumed body part regenerates through reverse curse technique, the sorcery value hits 0, making it impossible to satisfy copies conditions. Here is my issue with this. Obviously, it's either a retcon from Volume 0, because Copy did not follow any of these fucking rules. Rika didn't need to eat shit. Copy didn't have conditions on eating shit, so none of that existed. Obviously, Yuta's copy is strictly tied to Rika, the queen, in some way. Because copy has now changed because this version of Rika isn't as powerful. This version of Rika has changed. That's got to be the only explanation, because this whole consumption of limbs can't have worked by the logic of Volume 0. And secondly, the whole, once again, the consumption of the arm thing, once again, doesn't work, because he would have only... That means he couldn't have used cursed speech until Inumaki lost his arm. They went and found it, and he ate it. That's the only explanation for that. That's how he uses cursed speech. Yeah, that's the only one. So... Okay, I don't know if that adds up to the timeline. I'd have to go back through. But Inumaki lost his arm. You're telling me that Yuta, since Volume 0, hasn't been able to use cursed speech. And he hasn't been able to use copy without eating anybody this whole time, by this logic. He hasn't been able to use copy. Because now we're being told, at first it was the 5-minute thing and blah, blah, blah. But now we're being told, no, because you can't satisfy copy's conditions. So... if the person gets healed or they were never eaten, they can't use the ability. Once again, when you... something as simple as copy, which has been done in fiction so many times... You're even digging yourself a little hole there, Gege. I don't know, man. Alright, going back to it. I'll give Itadori the minimum amount of data and tactical information needed. Okay? It makes sense to be careful, but even if we sense a big physical change, the resonance between Sukuna and Itadori... Oh, they weren't talking about... Okay, they weren't talking about Nobara. Though I know she comes back, but I'm still saying. The resonance between Sukuna and Itadori shouldn't reveal what Itadori's thinking or the information he possesses. Why do you say that? Because Itadori can't read Sukuna's thoughts. Fair enough. You're so confident. I doubt any secrets will get out in the confusion after the fight against Gojo. And I don't want to distract Itadori right before the fight. Wait, are we... distract him with what? Itadori, even if you can't use them right now, Sukuna's curse techniques are already engraved in your flesh. Gojo-sensei confirmed it with the 6 eyes, so they did know he had the techniques beforehand, so that's why he ate. Therefore, he's going to eat a finger. The boy's fingers, we're back to the present, 2 are missing. That didn't happen just now. The one I used to transfer into Megumi was the boy's left pinky. Sukuna's fingers. You never recovered the last one, said Yuta. That was a bluff. Yuta out here being the mastermind. Yuta out here being, yeah, let's go Yuta. What fulfilled the copy conditions for Malevolent Shrine, which, once again, he didn't really copy Malevolent Shrine, or is that what they're calling the technique? He copied Cleave and stuff, right? Or does he, could he have actually pulled out Malevolent Shrine, we just didn't see it? Because I don't remember Yuta pulling out Malevolent Shrine. Wasn't my finger, but the boy's. So yeah, so Rika ate the other finger. Sukuna's fingers, oh, there's Utahime and the old geezer. Sukuna's fingers are special grade cursed objects, capable of withstanding physical force and sorcery. Can a cursed technique even penetrate it? With a binding vow. Okay. If you give up trying to destroy the object from your plans, and instead focus on penetrating the cursed technique itself, then it might work. Anyway, what concerns me more, it hasn't even been an hour since she woke up. Yeah, okay. You better be happy, boys. They were talking resonance as in Nobara. They were talking about her. Okay. Okay. One of the worst written female characters of all time finally returns. And why were we like, why did we have that scene of, what about Nobara? And she's in a coma? Would have been a good answer? Oh man, this is bad. This is not how you write. So Gojo's death was shit. Nobara's return is poorly written. My god. Holy shit. I'm actually, like, I don't like Nobara as a rule. She's a horrible human being. She's a terrible person. But, fact of the matter is that if she was not dead and in a coma, why did we have that scene with Yuji? That scene more so implies there's no reason for Fushiguro. That was Gege just fucking trolling. And trolling, generally speaking, isn't that funny in long-running shonens when you troll your own readers? It just kind of pisses them off. Because I sort of feel like, okay, so what this means is, it's not that maybe Gege wasn't going to bring it back. Yeah, this from what I understand, and this is also piss poor writing, is that he didn't know if he wanted Nobara to be alive or dead yet. That's what it feels like. And so he left it open-ended just in case he didn't bring her back. That's my only explanation for that fucking scene when they're like, what about Nobara? Oh, I get it. And it's like, we imply her death, or we imply that she's not going to recover, or we imply she's never going to wake up, something along those lines. And convenient 101, she comes back in the final fight to obviously use resonance on the finger. So, yeah. And once again, I knew about Nobara coming back. And I knew about this, her attacking, the finger thing. I forgot it was called resonance. That was the one thing I was spoiled on until chapter 271. However, with a binding, I don't get, and I already argued this point, the whole binding vow thing makes no sense. Okay, give me 1 sec, guys. That's my phone. Yeah, well, it's a good time to take a break anyway, so, yeah, we'll get into this, because we're only halfway through chapter 267. We'll get into this in a second. I'll catch up with the chat I can catch up with the chat really quick, and then we'll take a small break, and we'll be right back. Caden said, I feel like all the binding vows that Sukuna did after the first 3 were all ass pulls. They were. I feel like all of them were, because the other side wasn't using them. It's like the other side didn't know about binding vows. Like, binding vows was Sukuna exclusive. That bothers me. And this binding vow right here doesn't add up or make sense to me either. This one's going to be a bit of an ass pull, but we'll talk about it. We know when you do one, you have to give up something of equal value. That's my thing. You have to give up. It's like equivalent exchange Full Metal Alchemist. You have to give up something equal value. I can't turn a shed into a house. It's not equivalent. You know what I mean? I can't give up, I can't give up the pebble on the ground to gain a mountain, Doesn't work that way. Kane said, but how Sukuna was using it doesn't seem like he was making that big of sacrifices for the type of vow he was doing. Yeah, if I don't make this vow, I might die. So I'm just going to give up 90 seconds of my life or something. You know what I mean? Like the shit he was giving up or whatever was crazy. Kane said, actions he was doing, right? Presley said, Gege wrote himself in a corner with copy. He really did. He had to nerf the fuck out of it. But once again, all I'm saying is he could have explained, like in this chapter when they're talking about copy, they're spending the dialogue on it, so why not have a panel where he's like, wait a minute, didn't you when we first found you, weren't you able to use copy all the time? Panda, Maki, somebody could have brought up, oh, you used cursed speech before and you didn't eat Inamaki. Ah, that was when Rika's soul was tied to the earth. The current Rika is simply a powerful Shikigami, but a Shikigami nonetheless. Copy is now limited to Rika. Like, all we needed was a quick dialogue bubble explaining that this copy is not the same as copy from Zero, and here is why. I'm trying to justify it and explain it away, but it's still like we should be told that. We shouldn't have to make up headcanon to explain why something is inconsistent. You should never have to. A good manga, good writer, never has the readers creating their own theories as to why this makes sense when it's not making sense right now. You know what I mean? Especially shown in power systems. They have to do that. If you don't, it's not great writing. Caden said, Gege should have never made Gojo the way he did. He basically made a side character fill the main character role and made him OP for no reason. It was odd. He's awesome. I like Gojo, but yeah, this is the problem. What Gege did was he wrote himself into a major corner. He eliminated due to plot devices, which weren't that bad. Obviously, there was going to be ways around Gojo. With the prison realm, then to bring him back just to die like a dog. Yeah, yeah. Samuel has message retracted. Thank you. I assume it was spoilers, so thank you. Frosty said, classic mistranslation. Shrine is the name of Sukuna's technique, but John Weary keeps translating as the domain's name. Okay. That makes more sense. Fair enough. That's not one of the things I've been bitching about that long. I'm just like, oh, well, maybe he can use it and he just didn't, so that one doesn't bother me. But okay, that's the name of the technique. Got it. Samuel said the technique is called Shrine. It's only a mistranslation. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And gals, maybe. Kane said, I feel like that's the reason why he hates Gojo. He made him too alluring on accident. Couldn't figure out a way to just make him have a smaller role in his series. Right. That's the problem when you make OP characters. In Rurouni Kenshin, Hiko Seijuro is the strongest character. Could beat all the bad guys. Confirmed by the author. So he had to write his personality as in, if he comes knocking on my door, I'll deal with it. But the Hiten Mitsuru, he had to write around Hiko Seijuro, Kenshin's master, because the author himself went, I made him too strong. So I had to constantly figure out ways to write him out of the series so he didn't solve all the plot problems. So he didn't just go beat the bad guys. Because he would. So Kenshin, he was a little smarter with that. And in, I don't know how he's working on Hokkaido right now. I haven't caught up with that arc. But, yeah, the problem is Gojo, in a time where anime is on such a big hype and rise, But, yeah. So is it Shrine or Kitchen? I don't know. So, basically, she was in a coma all the way up until this point that she did that. That's what I guessed. Okay, so she was in... But why didn't she... Once again, this is not good writing. This leaves the author a way out, but you can tell it if you've read more than 5 minutes of any fiction or any good writing. You can see this a mile away. The author didn't have a plan, so he left it open-ended in case of. He left it in his back pocket. But if we know that that's why he did it, then the mystery, it's like seeing how a magic trick works. The magic is broken. Here's the man behind the mirror. There's no magic anymore. So if you write it so blatant that we, the readers, see that as Gege wrote himself an out in case he fucked up, that means he doesn't have confidence in his own abilities. He didn't have concrete idea. That's not a good look. It's not a very good look whatsoever. So, yeah. Anyways, so we're caught up with the chat. I'll be right back, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. And then we'll finish off chapter 267. And we'll jump right into chapter 268. I just got to take that phone call. Be right back. How do I mute this damn thing? There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. Yeah, so. Alright, so chat hasn't kept going. That's excellent. That means we can continue. Well, for right now, anyways. That means we can continue with chapter 267. Alright, just really quick, because I already discussed this a little bit. Yeah, the binding vow thing. This makes no sense to me. Because, once again, the problem with the binding vows, like what Sukuna's been doing and stuff like that, they are assholes. Because they are. Because, once again, it's meant to be, the way it's explained and what it's meant to do is sort of, it's not a cheat sheet that you can just pull off like, yeah, I will never have chocolate-covered raisins again. Please give me the ultimate punch to blow up a planet. You know what I mean? I'll never eat ice cream. Boom. You know, that's not equivalent exchange, right? So Sukuna's been doing a few binding vows, which definitely are not equivalent. I don't care. You know, you can argue till you're blue in the face. I'll never see your side of some of them. Some of them, okay, but not every one. Some of those binding vows are not equivalent, no matter which way you slice it. This one still bothers me. I talked about this with Miss Content. Definitely go check out his channel. He actually followed and likes Jujutsu Kaisen to this day. And for the majority part, I do too. I just have a lot of problems with the current writing in the last arc. Like most shonen series, they never end on a high note. But this binding vow basically says, okay, Sukuna's finger, it's super dense, super powerful. We don't really have the means to destroy it. It's the one ring. We can't break it. We can't destroy it. We have to literally spend 13 months with a hairy foot fucking Elijah Wood to get rid of this fucking thing. Right? So, this is like the one ring level of durability. We can't hurt it anyways, even if we wanted to. So the binding vow of giving up trying to do something we cannot do anyways is not equivalent to, well, we're not actually going to hurt the finger. We'll never destroy the finger. We will just attack the soul of the finger, the curse technique within the finger, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, right? The curse inside the finger. This would be clever if they had a means of destroying the finger. Bringing up the fact that, okay, Gimli, son of Gloin, we cannot destroy the One Ring by any craft that we here possess. It needs to go to Mount Doom. Do you have a Mount Doom? No. But I'm going to make a binding vow telling you that if I did have a Mount Doom, I'm not going to use it. But you don't have one. No, so you're not giving anything up. So I don't like this binding vow. Miss tried to explain it to me. It made a little bit of sense. It still didn't completely convince me that this is not a bit of an ass-pull binding vow. It doesn't make sense. They can't destroy it anyway. They don't have a Mount Doom to do so. But they're promising that in the off chance that one day we do actually get one, we won't bother using it. Like, that's not really equivalent. That's such a 1,000,000-to-1 Hail Mary shot. That's Vegas. You bet all your shit on that, you're going to lose sort of idea. That's a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. It's not equivalent to say, yeah, but we're going to destroy your finger from the inside out. You know, like, or the main body, whatever. I don't like that. So yeah, this was the small part of the chapter that I did get spoiled on, that I did read like these 3 or 4 pages. So yeah, she hits it. I forgot it was called Resonance, and this is where, yeah, the nail thing, and this is where I'm spoiler free. I didn't see this next part with Sukuna getting hit by it. It's a really nice fucking spread, though. That's a beautiful double-page spread with Sukuna taking the hit from the inside out, all the spikes, as she attacks the soul, or whatever she does, straight through the finger. Though I don't agree. Resonance is a cool concept to attack Sukuna with. I like that concept. I don't like the binding vow that led us here. But I do like this. This is that girl's, damn it, my curse technique is, I can't open my own main. This means that the boys attacked can't miss. Haha, got you, idiot. Okay, so Yuji didn't know Nobara was alive. That's what Yuta was talking about with Mei Mei. I mean, it wouldn't have been a distraction, you know, if Fushiguro had just told him she's in a coma back in that panel, but okay. And then boom, 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 dismantle straight to the heart. It won't miss. Boom, he's on top. Punching him in the face. Sukuna's still fighting back, not so fast. CQC's happening. Did the boy think he could strip me away with a half-assed domain? Still not sure what the domain's doing. Like, Hollow Wicker Basket isn't in effect anymore. Where's the sure hit? Like, what's the sure hit? What's the domain actually do? So it brings him to his hometown. Great. He didn't revert back. He's not on the leash anymore, or the invisible. I just call it the leash. It was an invisible leash, but what's it do? He hasn't been able to heal his wounds because of reverse curse technique, so he's way past his limits too. And the massive cursed energy consumption due to the domain means you're the one who will die. And boom, boom, boom. So Sukuna's punching him. He's trying, and Yuji's punching him back. A double blow with a temporal difference. Sukuna, let's finish this. Your curse must end. Black Flash. Okay, there we go. To end off the chapter. If it ends with a punch to the gut and a Black Flash, ending with a Black Flash is fair enough. I'm okay with that for the final attack. Like, there's not some brand new attack. I lied. I would have been happier had Yuji's domain been kind of broken, and he's finally tapped into it, and he uses some crazy domain. Which, by the way, he's got his own. He can use Sukuna's curse technique, because that's technically his curse technique and all this shit. Why is his domain not Malevolent Shrine? Why does he have his own domain? And what does it do? I still don't know. But Black Flash ending it off. This is a great double-page spread. Really well drawn. Yeah, that's a nice way to end Chapter 267 for sure. And if that's the final attack, I'm going to have to believe it because we're on to 268. We got a few chapters. We got so much to cover, guys. Like, we have so many plot points to add up. We need an epilogue. We need character. Maybe the epilogue, to be fair, maybe the last, like, chapter 271 and 270 are, like, 35, 40 pages long. But we need Gojo's funeral. We need a moment for Chozo's funeral, perhaps. Maybe a moment between Yuji and Toto being like, you know, I really wish you guys could have conversed. You both are like brothers to me and all this stuff. Like, we have a lot of things, you know, sort of to cover still. So even if that's the final attack, we need to do cleanup. We need all the character reactions of the final battle. We need to see an epilogue of what everybody's doing. You know, like, there's a lot to cover in these next few chapters. Chapter 268. Settling Matters. Okay, so I think that Sukuna and Fushiguro, let's go. How will you ever be able to face the world again? Okay. All right. You had your body stolen by me, and your sister was killed, and you refused help. And alright, the boy you saved slaughtered lots of people. Just give up. Oh, is this his desperation moment? Is this his... Okay, he's sort of looking like... I've just finished watching somebody react, a channel reacting to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, so I'm really seeing like the homunculi pride thing, or the dwarf in the flask. I'm seeing that right now. I believe that's inspired a bit, but yeah, no, it looks good. Just give up. You'll never be able to live a normal life. So stay quiet and let me handle things. So he's trying to say, like, no, we'll double down on this. Why are you so desperate? Oh, it's because this Black Flash worked. This is the blow. If Fushiguro says, you're done, Sukuna, like, I'm done, I'm going to fight back, Sukuna's done. Why are you so desperate? One of Sukuna's fingers is still out there. If the way to become a cursed object is set, and Itadori pulls me out, you die. Plus, Resonant isn't always good for you. If 19 fingers disappear, the last one probably can't carry on your soul. But I'm relieved to see that even you fear death. Oh yeah, that is 100. Look, that is 100% FMA. That's homunculus. That's 100% homunculi. Yeah, that's 100%. I like that. Why are there 20 fingers? He's so immensely powerful that just one can't carry on his soul, so that's what he's afraid of. It's like, yeah, there's still a finger out there, but your soul's not going to be able to get... That finger's basically going to be a cursed object, but it's not going to be you. You're going to die. I never intended to live a normal life. Oh, he's fighting back. The world is full of people besides myself. Once more, I think I'll live for others. And boom. Here it comes. There's the... I think that's a barrier of some description. Yeah, it looks like a barrier. And smash. He smashed Sukuna with Black Flash and smacked Megumi right out. There's Megumi's body right out of him. Okay. And oh no, he's trying to claw him back. Raw, and no, he's just dissolving. Just give it up. And he's just an eyeball. He looks like what's that ugly Tsukumo? No. Gyo. What's the ugly one? Numamon. He looks like Numamon from Digimon. He looks like a one-eyed Numamon. That's Sukuna. That's the King of Curses' true form. Numamon. Yeah, so everyone's saying, oh, he's not in his original body. He would have won. There's his original body. It's Numamon with one eye. All right. And Yuji's standing over him. So what's it going to be, Sukuna? Wait, what? He's still giving him the chance? Sukuna's fading away. Free Fushiguro, I'll spare you if you return to me. Sukuna, you are me. Okay. We were born with the burden of a curse, and the monster you became was up to luck. No, I don't believe that, but okay. But I had my grandfather. Sukuna, let's do it again. Not to curse someone, but to live with someone. Do not talk no jutsu this shit. Sukuna, stay evil. Stay evil. Don't ruin this. Even if no one else accepts it, I'm willing to go on living with you. I gotta compliment how complete you are in acting the fool. Yuji Itadori, he called him by name. Okay. Do not dare to insult me, for I am a curse. Even in death. He was like, yeah, as Fushiguro pointed out, he fears death, but he's not willing. No, he's still the king of curses. Fair enough. He went out as a one-shot villain, or like a very simplistic villain, but that was not a bad thing. Certainly not for this series. Sukuna's, the power system and the binding vows, and there's a lot of bullshittery there, but overall, Sukuna, from start to finish, has been very consistent and rather well written. You know? So, yeah. No, they didn't ruin Sukuna up till the very end. You gotta love it. He's like, no, I am a curse. Piss off. Good for him. Good for him for his villain standpoint. It's Hakari and what's her name? Urahime, a gal. I still have no fucking clue. It's all over. Yep, looks that way. So now what? So they were fighting this whole time. Neither one of them could beat the other. Nothing. It's the end. If Sukuna lost, it's because he was a fully fleshed curse. It's not because you guys were strong. Alright. Sore loser here. And seems you merely got lucky. Being born 1,000 years later saved your lives. That... okay. Sure. I feel like that's... Like, we have all the Gojo cope and the Gojo haters and the Gojo fans and stuff. It's nice to see that there's a little bit of pushback here with... This is basically a Sukuna... Someone coping with Sukuna. Sukuna was still the strongest, you know, like that's... I'm hearing the whininess out of this, like... And just because Sukuna lost doesn't mean he lost. Okay. All right. A fan, girl, boy, whatever, right to the very end. Right to the very end. I kind of got to give props to that. It's like stuck to the agenda, stuck to the fangirling, and kept it up. I merely got lucky, says Hikari. That's the ultimate praise for a guy like me. Fair enough. I wish we had seen this fight, by the way. Because now, they're gone. I guess you're right. Gone. And, okay, and Fushiguro wakes up, and he's got scars and stuff from the battle, I assume. Yeah, they got scars, okay. And what are you two doing? Noburo's in a box, and usually, what? Planning a Kugasaki's alive surprise. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'll admit, that's a nice callback. That's a very nice callback, and the fact that it didn't even pan out, I like this. This I like. I do enjoy this. Yeah, okay. So, Fushiguro, mind explaining yourself as to why you never told Yuji that she was just in a coma? Hey, the hottest girl in class you thought was dead is alive, so you should piss yourself in surprise or weep for joy. Well, once again, he's like, well, you were in a coma. Obviously. It must have been, because once again, if we could revive the dead, we would have revived Gojo. So, Noburo, you were in a coma. You weren't dead. And Fushiguro must have known that. Because, like, who would have said she's dead and nobody corrected them? Like, who went and lied to Fushiguro, who then in turn lied to Yuji by omission? What purpose would that serve, and who would have done that? For the off chance that nobody believed that Noburo was the key to defeating Sukuna at the last minute, and that she would wake up 1 hour while the battle was going on just in time? I'm pretty sure that's too many conveniences, so Fushiguro must have known that she was just in a coma, but he was afraid she would never wake up, maybe, because that's entirely possible. Yuji said, I did cry a bit, that's true. When you did Resonance, that's true. And that was a nice, sweet moment, that was true. I found out while I was in Sukuna. Wait, what? Nope, that makes no fucking sense. Sorry, no, gay, you fucked up. That makes no sense. That makes no fucking sense. Our class only has 3 people. Well, she would be the hottest girl by default. Yeah, I guess I needed to be there. What do you mean you found out while you were in Sukuna? No, that makes no fucking sense, because you never would have... Who told you she was dead? And then Yuji's like, what happened? And he's like... He didn't say, I don't know. He implied, which we took away from that scene, all the readers did, that Noburo was dead. He believed she was dead. But who told him that? And who... You tell me all these people never just bothered to tell anybody that their friend was alive. No. That's just... That's some fucking convenient writing bullshit. No. No, I don't like this at all. That is not good. You ruined... I enjoyed the prank thing, and then you had to go and ruin it. Let's move on. Well, shall we get to it? Oh, are they going to go... Because it's funeral time, baby. We lost some people. We lost the lawyer guy, Higuruma. We lost the lawyer. We lost Gojo, obviously. That's got to be a big funeral. Chozo, maybe that'll be just a private thing, where he was a curse, and stuff like that. Who else did we lose? Yuta might be dead. We don't know. Anybody else confirmed dead in that? I don't know. Well, shall we get to it? Irari received these letters from Gojo. Oh, okay, we're going to read some letters. Now that we're all together, we can open them. Letters? Yeah, it's not like him. Imagine him writing that creeps me out. Oh, that's mean. Yeah, the man's dead. Come on, guys. This is dark. This is like morbid sense of humor. Sort of like the joke of, oh, you know, your best friend. He's alive after all, and we were playing a prank on you. You know what I mean? That's in such poor taste and dark humor, you know. It's that morbid, like, people who work at a funeral home type of morbid humor. There are only 2. I don't have one. That's because I talked to him directly. Oh, you did? Well, let's do this. Okay, so are we going to see the scene with Yuji and Gojo talking? Gah! Alright, so Nobara read hers. What did he write? It's just info on where my mom is and what she's doing. Did you want to know that? No. Why not? Ugh, Nobara. Thank God it's in, like, yeah. Good. I can't stand Nobara. Why? What do you mean? You don't? Never mind. I'm surprised he was able to find her. I guess I should have expected it. And, oh, Fushigoro's laughing? Did he make you special grade? Oh, that's a good question. Like, hey, you're now the #1 sorcerer or something. Fushigoro's actually laughing. I gotta know. Show me. Can I see it? Okay, so they're all like, all right, Mr. Sasuke serious all the time is actually laughing. What does it say? Actually, it's a lot like Kugisaki's. They're reading it and they're like, what? It's kind of harsh. You guys play a prank where you believe each other is dead to pop out in surprise. You're all dark and harsh. So why were you laughing? It's nice to see Fushiguro. I mean, he's still kind of a bum for being like, yeah, we can defeat Sukuna right now. I give up. Like, no, don't do that. That's still kind of a shit attitude, but it's okay. It's nice to see that he's, you know. Well, if you say so. Sorry, Megumi, but your dad's a goner. I wasted his ass. My bad. That's very Gojo. That's very Gojo to be like, here's where your mom is. Sorry about your dad. I wasted his ass. And where is his mom again? Who did Toji? Do we know it? Never mind. Uh-oh. I gotta go see Maki and the others. Okay. Come with us, Fushiguro. So it's not the funeral. Everyone's gonna go together. Alright, it is a funeral. I guess I should apologize and say thanks. No, this isn't about that. Yeah, they gotta go to a funeral, right? Huh? It's about Okotsu senpai. Okay, Yuta's alive. Is he in Gojo's body or not? Is he stuck there? That was one of the possibilities. We have to save him. So we see Inumaki, Maki, Panda, what's her name? The witch girl from the Kyoto school. Kusakabe. Miwa. I believe that's Miwa. And we have to save him. Yuta, you jerk. Save him from them. Okay. Save. What's the deal? Okay. So we only have 3 chapters left. 269, 270, 271. We still need to cover an epilogue of what the characters are doing. We still need to cover a tearful goodbye to Gojo, who really was such a big influence. And what one of the biggest things that made JJK so popular was Gojo. So we need the due respect there. Maybe tie up a couple of loose ends. Right, Takaba. Takaba, we need a funeral for him too. He died facing Kenjaku, so Yuta could kill him. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 funerals we got to get to. I wonder if they'll do it like X-Men Last Stand, where it was like, okay, here's Charles' grave, which is the big one, which would be Gojo's. Then we have all the people that helped it, and be like, this is the memorial of all the people who died, you know. And they go through the names, and they have a nice memorial service for all the characters, because we only have a few chapters left, so I can see it like a half a chapter. One of these last chapters being just the funeral, you know, and basically saying nice things about each one in a dialogue bubble, but having one big funeral. I can see that. I can see that. Before we start chapter 269, anybody else want to hit that like button? And yeah, so let's go to the chat. And let's read what the chat's saying. Frostleaf says, what it feels like is that when you make a binding vow with yourself, you can just bullshit anything into existence. And Caden says, ass pull for days. Yep, that's pretty much it. Oh, look at that, 7 likes. Thanks, guys. For all I know, I have 20 dislikes on this one because I'm not the biggest JJK fan. But I said I would do it. I said when the series was over, I would review the last few chapters. You know, I'd do a catch-up stream, and that would be it. You know what I mean? So I'm doing it. But yeah, that is what binding vows feel like. Samuel said the sure hit is the soul dismantle. But that makes no sense because he was still blocking him and defending him and he was punching him in the face. So the moment Hollow Wicker Basket deactivated, the soul dismantle should have instantly hit and it didn't. Or was it hitting and not hurting him? Alright, I'm not understanding. I don't understand what the domain did. Sandra said you can see it in the next 2 pages after Yuji realizes Nobara is alive. I mean, okay, so you're telling me that whole walk through the park thing, he could have been smacking his ass and he chose with soul dismantle and chose not to? I don't know, that's weird. Frozen said, not Black Flash, it's Divergent Fist. Oh, well, it says Black Flash, and it's got the little lightning thingies. Kane said, you're asking for quite a lot. Am I? Well, that's kind of sad. I'm not asking for that much, am I? Samuel said, it's not Malevolent Shrine because the domain is the representation of his soul. Obviously, Yuji ain't malevolent. The environment is Yuji's memories where he grew. I mean, okay, but then that's sort of, once again, the power system, I have so many negative things to say, but I'll just say, if he can use Dismantle and Cleave, then the domain should be the same. It's not like, oh, but that's part of his soul. Well, no, but Cleave and Dismantle are part of Sukuna's soul. They're not part of Yuji's soul. So why can Yuji use Soul Dismantle, his own special domain and stuff, but he still has Sukuna's techniques? But he doesn't have all of them. Because they're twins. Nah, see, I don't like it. Oh, well. Maybe it makes sense. I'm too tired to care. I'll assume that you guys are right and I'm wrong on that one. Once again. As I said, if you need to write an essay to explain your power system and everything that happens within it, it's not a good power system. Not for shonen. Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best power systems. Got a lot of complications, and I can explain it in about 3 paragraphs. I don't need to write 6 pages to explain it all. But you have to sit down and explain every binding vow separately. That's a problem. On how it makes sense, that's a problem. Let's see. So Caden said Sukuna was a parasite at the end of the day. Seems like it. He was just a Numamon. Frostleaf said, what the hell is this translation? That is not what Urahame said. Oh, well, I'm reading this off of, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I'm reading this off of Mangasy. I'll be reading the TCB scans for chapter 271, for sure. I don't know. These are the scans that I've, I usually read. Kane said, Sukuna did show respect to Yuji at the end by saying Yuji's name. I thought so, because throughout the story he never did. Kane said, revolution. There you go. Samuel said, Urahame tries to say that Sukuna lost because he was incarnated in someone like Megumi, and he was separated. That would not happen in his OG body. But he used the cursed tool. He's in his OG body, technically, isn't he? I mean, just sort of saying. And the only reason he beat Gojo, once again, we can have this argument back and forth. Without 10 Shadows, Sukuna probably loses. Gojo might still get defeated, but he is worn the fuck down in his OG body. And then all the other people, Yuta, Higuruma, all of them, they jump him again. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that was a downplay. I'm saying, like, no, he got a extra 1-up mushroom Mario Party, Super Mario style, and everyone's acting like he didn't. He absolutely did. And that's only because he was in an incarnated body with a broken fucking curse technique. Without that, I don't think he wins. But if that's what Urahame's trying to say, he's just she, whatever, is trying to cope. In my opinion. Mandrake 9 to 5 says it is not uncommon in series to say you only won due to a technicality, not raw power. Fair enough, but not enough people are saying that that's why Sukuna beat Gojo, which is exactly what happened. Sukuna only beat Gojo because of a technicality, not raw power. And now, so I'm saying you can't have it both ways. Either both lost to technicalities or both didn't. I'm not having it one way or another, right? So, at least from me. But once again, guys, I dropped the series for this reason. I've got hot takes on this series. I understand they're hot takes. I'm not the hugest fan. I like good writing. I don't like overcomplicated power systems with plot holes, carpet bombed throughout them. It's just not my cup of tea. I've liked Jujutsu Kaisen for the most part, but this is why I dropped the series, because I don't think it's a good idea to spread negativity on the internet constantly. Right? So reviewing week to week and being like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, why would I do that? It's just going to upset people who watch my videos. It's going to upset fans who come across my videos. And I'm just going to get a bunch of hate, which I don't want to read. So, once again, these are just my opinions. I promise to do this one stream, this one time, so. But yeah. Caden said, bring Gojo back, please, for the love of God, as the new villain. And once again, that airport scene now makes no fucking sense. Anyways, never mind. Bring Gojo back as the new villain and get Sukuna to be the hero to save everyone because he's the only one that has beaten Gojo before. Joking. I mean, I've heard worse fanfiction. Frosted said, oh God. Frosted, yo, can you please not read the official translations? They're so ass. Well, I don't want viruses on my computer, so I only have a couple trusted sites. This is usually the TCB scans that this site gets. They're usually the same ones, so I don't know why they're changed to the official ones, apparently, but... Caden said, imagine having EMS, Rinnegan, 6 eyes with limitless, observation hockey, and eyes of the Lord. How OP would you be? You'd be so fucking broken. Caden said, I still believe Gojo is the biggest reason JJK got so popular, then Sukuna is number 2. 100%. Gojo is the reason JJK got popular. Because it was simply, it was Naruto meets Bleach. It was Naruto and Bleach combined. That's all it was to start. It was literally the beginning of Bleach with a Naruto cast. That's all it was at the beginning. I wasn't very impressed. But Gojo set himself apart early on and became the staple that set it different than just a Naruto and Bleach clone combined. That's what made it different. That's the only real thing. And then it got into its own way, and then it got its own shoes. But I will always argue that. Kane's in popularity-wise. Farsi says, yeah, those aren't TCB. Well, I mean, I am reading the last 2 chapters on TCB, so is what it is. But there's so many pop-up ads and shit, guys. So that's why I read on Manga. And normally, this site brings up only the stuff from TCB, so I'm surprised they're the official. Maybe they changed them out after Sunday, but these are uploaded before the officials come out on this website, so maybe they changed them out after the official comes out later. I don't go back that often, so yeah. Gain said, let's be fair, Gojo would have an easier time fighting everyone if you switch him and Sukuna spots. I think so. But yeah, so chapter 269, there can't be that many bad, now that the fight's over, there can't be that many bad translations left. And then after this chapter, the last 2, I'm reading on TCB anyways, so. Chapter 269 is entitled Considerations. How much? What's this? There's the weird, creepy Mei woman and some old guy. Okay. And Maki with yelling at Yuta, who is back in his original body. Okay, so Yuta survived. We don't need a funeral for Yuta. As a big Yuta fan, my favorite character, I'm happy. I'm happy about this. Okay, Yuta lived. Fantastic. Maki, Yuta, you jerk. It's not okay just because you're back in your original body. What are we talking about? Maki? Alright, so everyone's here. Oh, Megumi, how are you? My head is kind of spacey. Is that because of Unlimited Void? Are you really okay? What do you mean? Oh, because technically his soul took the hits, I guess, yeah. I want to apologize to everyone. Do it later anyways. You have nothing to apologize for. I mean, kinda. We could have ended this battle before other people died, but okay. But actually, I do, says Yuji. It's Gojo's fault for not killing Itadori way back then, says Kusakabe. Technically, I mean, but are we really going to speak ill of the dead here? What the fuck? And Itadori is a victim of Kenjaku's Jujutsu terrorism. Which, yeah, that whole manifestation of the ultimate battle went absolutely nowhere. Okay? Kenjaku literally Yuta one-shot him. So, or two-shot him. Sorry. I was in favor, spelt wrong, of your execution, Itadori. I'm only here because of Yaga. And I won't say that I was wrong or I told you so either. Each person's truth brought us to this outcome. Okay, so this is kind of like out of left field. Why are we talking about this right now? But apparently Kusakabe's like, yeah, no, I thought, okay, you ate the finger, we'll fucking kill you. You know, why bring that up now? Okay. So you guys don't need to feel guilty. It sounds like they do. Like, oh, I'm sorry for living and causing everything that's happened is my fault because Gojo kept me alive. So we blame Gojo and me. Don't feel guilty. You're blamed. Oh, whatever. Just be kids and let the old guys hang their heads. Then don't talk to them like they're adults. I don't know. Oh. Alright. Alright. This is why I dropped the series. I have way too many issues. Okotsu-senpai, how did you return to your body? I owe it to Rika. When she didn't follow me into Gojo-sensei's body, I thought I had lost my connection to her. But Rika was using reverse curse technique to repair and sustain my body, which Arari had worked on. When Kenjaku's curse technique burnt out, which it burnt out fast, that was, you know what? That was an ass pull. When I reread that whole, oh, the 5 minutes aren't up, so he can't fight Sukuna any longer, probably because they would have killed him then. Once again, another ass pull. And they're like, that's the same bullshit with the whole, oh, they did this in GT, and they did this in Super, where, oh, they did it in Super twice. Oh, I'm so fucking strong that the time limit on the fusion is shortened because I'm too fucking good and I'm gonna win. They did it in GT and it was bullshit. They did it in Super twice and it was bullshit. So, yeah. I'm not just blaming JJK, guys. When Dragon Ball did that shit, I wasn't happy. And, yeah, they did the same thing. Like, oh, Kenjaku's technique, I guess it burnt out because I used Unlimited Void. Why? That's not the rule. 5 minutes with Rika. Why does using a different technique supersede your 5-minute rule with Rika? That makes no sense. Anyways, due to the domain, I thought I was dead, but oh, so Rika can use reverse curse technique outside of and manage to heal Yuta's body back together enough that he could be healed. That's crazy because they were like, yeah, no, I've got to switch over to Gojo's body because I'm literally dying. But apparently Rika was ill. See, this is a bit of an issue too. Maybe I'll have to go back and reread that. I'm not doing it now on the stream. But it sounded like Yuta was like, this is all we can do. I'm still dying. Even with my... I thought they said, even with Yuta's RCT, they would not be able to heal Yuta. So now we're going to switch you, use Kenjaku's technique, and switch you into Gojo's body, which we've managed to repair. But Yuta's body's sort of done for. Is what it sounded like. Like, it couldn't be healed. It was beyond, like Hana's arm and Inumaki's arm and stuff like that. It's beyond us to fix, even with our CT. Now we're saying that Rika, of her own volition, which technically should still be Yuta's RCT, in a way, was able to do it. Why didn't Rika just do it right there on the operating table? I mean, we still needed, I suppose, Hollow Purple. We still needed Unlimited Void in the fight. But, yeah, I don't know. This seems kind of inconsistent, but okay. Mei says, there was a minor miscalculation. Kenjaku was still active after the opening of the domain. Huh? I suppose it was possible to somehow divide multiple curse techniques to continue functioning, probably through barrier techniques. A millennium and a fresh copy won't be equally precise. I'm going to keep reading. After recovery of the curse technique, I was near death and Rika was an external curse technique. We reconnected and I survived. Sorry for making everyone worry. Okay, maybe this makes sense to some people. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's alright. The issue is that you had acted properly. We could have won more easily. Oh? First, consider the surprise attack on Kenjaku. Oh yeah, which, by the way, Aizen level fucking mastermind. No, he wasn't, and he died like a bitch. So, yeah. First, consider the surprise attack on Kenjaku. I should have done that. Didn't they bring that up, that was a possibility? Maki could have done it. Then there's the plan involving Higuroma's sword. Combined with Toge's remote curse speech, we would have won easily. Yeah, wait a minute. This isn't Gege shooting himself in the foot, is it? If they had thrown that recorder at Sukuna when he was going to stab him with the sword, the executioner's sword would have worked. Sukuna would have died. There's no indication that the executioner's sword, that Sukuna can survive it. We should have had Higuruma carry a recording. That's alright. That's a good point. Let's see, Inumaki. It is impossible to activate multiple instances of cursed speech simultaneously. Playing cursed speech from a recording counts as one instance, so only one voice recording is possible. Still, Maki's pointing out that would have been the time to use it. Earlier, not later. Let's see, Toto. But my Boogie Woogie can't target you, Maki. Oh? Even Okotsu pulling off the surprise attack without my assistance was risky. Confirmed that Toto, so when everyone called me crazy, and when I first saw that, and when I said that clap, that's Boogie Woogie, that's why Kenjaku was surprised. Yuta comes from the side, then is reversed, and boom, it was Toto's Boogie Woogie. Confirmed. You all called me crazy. You all called me crazy. And I was right. That being said, I don't know if I should be proud of being right about this writing anymore. So I don't know. Besides, Rika's strength was necessary for stopping the cursed spirit manipulation from raging. That's true. We forget that after he killed Kenjaku, all the spirits, and Rika just was like, no. And so it was a 2v1 sort of idea in that regard with Rika. So okay, I'll accept that for the reason why Yuta had to be the one, because I remember him doubting when he showed up to the fight. He's like, I could have helped Gojo, I could have done this, I could have done that. Like, I should have been here to do things. And they were sticking to these plans and stuff. Yuta was regretting that. But it did work out, and now Toto's reaffirming that, no, realistically, that was the best way to handle that. And that was clean. He was like, curse spirit manipulation? Forget about it, Rika. Kenjaku? Forget about it, Yuta. Anybody who put Kenjaku above Yuta is now officially fucking wrong, too. But, okay. And Toge's curse speech had reduced recoil because of the timing. If we had used it when Sukuna was in better condition, the kickback would have been fatal. Salmon Row. Okay, fair enough, I suppose. So both of those are explained away somewhat. I'll give you that. Sukuna was playing around. He could have killed me any time. If Okotsu had been around, he would have killed me instantly. Higuruma's alive? What? What the fuck? What do you mean Higuruma's alive? What is happening? I just got to get through 2.5 more chapters. Besides, curse speech is easy to counter, right? How? I'm the one who decided we should use it inside of Okotsu's domain barrier without any external opponents. After all, harmful acts are impossible inside my domain. But they didn't. But that didn't happen. We didn't use the recording inside of Okotsu's domain. We used it in front. Okay, it was Gojo, but nonetheless, it's amazing that someone who became a sorcerer 2 months ago survived. Yeah, he shouldn't have. Higuruma should be dead. But you might say that's unfortunate. Still! Alright, Maki's still yelling. Those foreign helpers. Oh yeah, they showed up. They pieced. Where did they go? If they had been there at the start, things would have been different. Yeah, that's right. Alright, so they're all mad. So wait a minute. But they said they wouldn't come, and I said they might. But they came. Easy to... Wait a minute. So from what I'm understanding, Maki is going full Tsunade on Yuta for coming up with the only way. He had contingency plan on top of contingency plan on top of contingency. He was literally plankton from A to Y, except he did have the plan Z at the end. This man was doing a Kisuke. It's like he's the man with 1,000 plans. Who would have thought that Yuta would be the mastermind who's like, okay, Gojo might win, but if he doesn't, there's like 900 possibilities, but here's our next plan to fight him, and here's our next plan, and here's our next one, and our next one. Yuta had a plan for literally right up to the defeat of Sukuna. They should be groveling that this man had so many, what if the Executioner Sword doesn't work? What if Gojo loses? What if I die? What if I can't use this? What if Maki fails? What if Higuruma fails? What if Yuji fails? What if this, that, the other thing? This man literally had a contingency plan for everything, and they're yelling at him? Or Maki is doing the Tsunade bullshit, and it's... Let's see. Yuji? Thanks to Okotsu Senpai's curse tool, I was able to hide my fingers. So it was a curse tool. I was right, I assumed. I was able to hide my fingers. That's true. That was a reveal. Wouldn't gloves have worked? Go to a hardware store. Fair. Thanks to Okotsu Senpai, we prevented Sukuna's second domain. That is true. I'm saying it could have worked out before that. Also true. Good thing waiting inside Rika was possible. Wait, that's what they were doing? I'm seeing... They were sitting inside of Rika while the battle was going on. What the fuck? The Queen of Curses strikes again. She can use RCT to do things that the people with the best RCT in the series cannot do. And she's a floating fortress. And she just, yeah. We were able to follow up with an attack immediately after Gojo and that drew Urahame away from Sukuna early. And that's thanks to Okotsu as well. Toto said, I'm responsible too. I prepared with Miss Mai for Sukuna's domain, but I couldn't get a hold of Chozo and Itadori. A problem with the cursed technique area? No, the problem was less distance at Sukuna's cursed energy. In the center of that domain, Sukuna's cursed energy was too strong, so I failed to lock onto their cursed energies. I was there, but Yui got me out fast, so I'm to blame too. We should have been able to save Chozo. Right? Can we acknowledge that Chozo's dead, please? Since Higuruma's apparently alive, and Yuta's alive. But then I would have died to Yuji. It's no one's fault. Maki, I'm not trying to blame Yuta either. You kind of are. After all, Black Flash hit me twice. But this guy... never mind. Okay, so that's supposed to be a sweet moment, but it comes off so fucking pissy. Meanwhile, I was scared stiff. I was on standby as Maki's marker and for domain countering. But what if Toto Senpai's curse technique had only saved me? You're the one who said you wouldn't join combat, said Kusukabe, and I didn't anyway. You would have objected. And then the little witch girl, sorry I didn't do much. Did you do anything? I didn't even know you were here. Well, your broom was a comfy ride, says maybe... Jesus. Hakari, I wanted to take on Sukuna after finishing off Urame. Urame was tough. We never saw the fight. We don't know. We don't fucking know. Apparently you won. Just so happens to win at the same time that Sukuna's already defeated. Nobara, I was asleep for a long time, so I can't say much. Yeah, you were in a coma that apparently nobody knew about, and everyone just assumed you were dead. And somebody, the JJK people, were keeping your body and claiming you were dead for no good reason, just to torment the poor kids, right? And then there's this little shit. We may each have our own regrets, but surely everyone agrees I was the MVP. Shut the fuck up. You panicked and left me. You're heavy, Kirara. Kilala. That made things easier for your sister. My sister did the hard work regarding new shadow style. Yet again, stealing the good part. I mean, guilty as charged. After all, I can't exchange my life for money, and you can't bet with what you can't exchange for money. Akari, new shadow style. Can't only certain people use that? Yes, that's right. A binding vow restricts it to one family. The inventor, Sadatsuna Ashihai, made it that way to prevent it from leaking to cursed users. When was new shadow style relevant, and why do we care right now? Where's the funeral? Where's the epilogue? I do not care about this. What do you mean about new... When did new shadow... Who used new shadow style when, other than Kusakabe, who used new shadow style in this fight and it was relevant and did anything? When did that happen? I'm sure it did at some point, but how relevant was it really? So why are we getting... But generations changed and new shadow style lost its public benefit and simple domain became a trade secret. What do you mean simple domain is a trade secret? Literally everyone who doesn't have their own domain uses simple domain. How much of a trade secret is it really? This is... Oh my... Nobara and Yuji are doing what I'm feeling. Just like, what are we talking about right now? Why do we care? Why is this relevant? What? Oh my god. No wonder I was seeing so much hate for the last few chapters the past couple of weeks. People were like, yeah, this ending sucks, this ending sucks. I'm like, the ending's not out yet, guys. But, like, we're getting all this. I don't think this chapter's very good. Not at all. In other words, the clan keeps a monopoly on it, invites disciples, and unreasonably enforces the binding vow. New shadow style is of great worth to sorcerers who have no cursed techniques. Toto learned it from Tsukumo, who acquired it Mekamaru style. So there's still plot holes to that shit. Like, oh, binding vows are shit. Binding vows could have been law of equivalent exchange, and they're just... Like, we saw everyone and their dog use simple domain. So what are you talking about? Or they use hollow wicker basket if they don't use simple domain. They use one or the other to avoid domain expansion, so what's the problem? What's unreasonable about a binding vow forbidding the teaching of new shadow style is to anyone but disciples? That's only part of it. Wait. A binding vow forbidding the teaching of new shadow style to anyone but disciples. But Yuki did it. Mekumaru style, as said. So there's bypasses to this. That's only part of it. You can't reuse summons to action from the head among other complications. Summons to action from the head? What? What's particularly tricky is lifespan. What are we talking about here? What's with the... I'm learning more about a power system and lore that I give no two shits about at the end of the series. Why? Why do I care? No wonder. I'm starting to understand why Twitter and Reddit and everywhere was going nuts and saying, oh, this ending is so stupid, this ending is trash, and stuff like that. I was seeing those type of comments, even though I was avoiding as many spoilers as I could. Now I'm seeing, like, what is all this information? What's all this lore dump about a family and a name I've never heard of? New Shadow Style has restrictions? 269 chapters. Never knew that. You know, Miwa uses it, Toto uses it, Yuki uses it, other people use it. Like, simple domain was just a thing. Kusakabe uses it. Like, all these people use new shadow style. It was never this whole, oh my god, you know, it's permanently locked, because it's kind of weak. It's just a perfected hollow wicker basket. And everyone who didn't have a domain had it, it seemed. So, yeah, I'm starting to see the complaints. Like, why do we care about this? Where's the funeral? Let's go. Where's the epilogue? Like, the epilogue's obviously the last chapter, but let's go to the funeral, man. Because this is closer to a spell without a limit than a binding vow or curse technique. New Shadow Style's head absorbs the lifespan of the disciples, supposedly. Who would agree? For a simple... I'm just going to read. Lifespan, supposedly. No one knows who New Shadow Style's head is. Then how does anybody learn it in the first fucking place? So while the contract concerning lifespan is a fact, no one knows how it's fulfilled. Some disciples are old men and women. If the head dies, a senior disciple will become the next one. But as long as the new head doesn't reveal their identity, no one will know who it is. And once again, why do I care about any of this at the end of the series? This feels like a arc that could have happened before the final battle with Sukuna. Like, oh, we need to have New Shadow Style available to everyone, but it's really restrictive right now, and we need to prepare for the battle, so why don't we figure this shit out? This chapter literally feels like it could be before the final arc. And only the leader can undo the various binding vows. Why do we need to undo them? Because of the lifespan thing? What, did they give up some of their life, or they're slowly being drained? And as far as I know, there aren't any senior disciples who have information on the head. Maybe it says, maybe you mean there weren't any, huh? I'm the current head of New Shadow Style. Okay. So all that to say, yeah, I took over. So I'll release all your binding vows. Toto, I assume the lifespan thing that he's slowly sapping life force from Toto. And they're like, yeah, no, I'll cancel the binding vow. You're good. Like, are we literally spending a whole chapter to explain something that we had no idea was restrictive in the first place, just to bring up this plot point, just to resolve it in the same chapter when we have 3 chapters left? Are we literally doing that? We're introducing a plot point that we didn't know existed, heavy dialogue on it, explain the backstory and the lore about it. It seems terrible for a lot of the characters, and we're solving the plot point all that we didn't know existed, all in one chapter. Yeah. So what? So the simple domain binding vow and lifespan spell are no longer a problem. So all that dialogue for nothing. But you gotta leave some perks for new disciples. In time, I hate this. In time, Yu will become the leader and rake in monthly fees from the disciples. What? You're so greedy, big sis. Teehee, even Jujutsu could be a subscription service. God, I hate those two. Let's see. So Mei shows up to this old person's shop. How much? I'm talking about your life. Huh? How did you find me? And how did you know I'm the leader? Teehee, I heard from someone in the know. What's going on here? But no one should know that. You intended to increase the number of disciples to stand alongside the big 3 families, and then control Jujutsu headquarters and the sorcery world, didn't you? Tengen. It would take... Wait, when did Mei talk to Tengen? It would take a long time, but absorbing lifespan from disciples must have been a means for living to someday see something. You can't exchange such ambition for money. Anyway, what's more important than money can't be protected without money. If there wasn't exclusive control of simple domain, some sorcerers wouldn't have died. And now, the Zenin clan has fallen to ruin, so if the Kamo and Gojo clans both fall in the final battle. You were trying to make my little brother defective, so this was bound to happen. End of chapter. This chapter is fucking dumb. I'm just gonna say it. So, somehow, Tengen talked to Mei before he died, told them randomly about the new shadow style that we had no knowledge of, that there was any defects to this, told them, hey, here's the old man who's the leader. Mei decides to go ahead and kill him so that Kusakabe can become the new leader, all once again for a plot point we didn't know existed, so didn't need resolving. With 2 chapters to go. Okay, then. That's the last chapter that I'm reading there, because I have the TCB to open and read. Yeah, so I'm gonna read the TCB for the last 2 chapters. I have to read it for 271 anyways, so that's fine. We're gonna read chapter 270 here. Where we are, preview. There we are, 270. Gonna take a quick short break. I'll catch up with the chat, then we'll just gotta take a bathroom break, and then we'll read the last 2 chapters. And then we might read that Reddit thing, because obviously I am seeing some of the issues. I'm sure there's some of the things on this list make a lot of sense now. So let's see. Kane said, honestly, I think Gojo would in terms of power skilling, quote unquote, it makes verses seem stronger than what they are or weaker than what they are. And at that end of the day, it's just personal bias. Kane said, if you want this series to be OP, wink it to Kingdom Come. And if you want this verse to be weak, downplay it to the end of days. Basically, Kane said, this is why you go off of what they have done within the verses instead of relying on statements that aren't backed up by anything in the show. Fair enough. Feats, not words, right? Kane said, it is true that no one likes your new... Is it true that no one likes your new prime minister? We don't have a new prime minister yet. But there is a guy who's very... well, I don't like him, but he's definitely more... In terms of American politics, he's definitely more hardcore Republican style, than Democratic. So, yeah. He's trying to get in. He's winning the polls because, like America, Canada's the same way. Democracy doesn't work because it's only actually black-white. It's only red-blue. There's only 2 colors. And where there's not really a third entity with any real weight, it's a lot of shit doesn't get done, and it's simply the grass is greener. After, in America it's 4 to 8 years. Here it can be indefinite, but usually around the decade mark, we're like, no, things will be better. We need a change because you're not helping us. You're not fixing my life, so the grass is greener, and then we jump ship. We go from... we call them liberals and conservatives, Democrats and Republicans, and basically everyone goes, okay, yes, we hate the conservatives, we hate the Republicans, we need the liberals back in power. Then they're in power for 10 years, and they're like, well, it was always better, grass is greener, and then we jump conservative for the next 10 years, and then we just play the flip-flop game. It's kind of bullshit, but yeah, nobody likes our... Nobody I've talked to likes the candidate who's most likely to become the new prime minister. Nobody likes him. He's not winning the polls by a landslide, but there's no one else in the running. Nobody, a lot of people don't like Trudeau because he made them get vaccines, like responsible fucking, people. So a lot of people don't like Trudeau for that thing. Just a bunch of anti-vaccine morons don't realize their bodies are so full of drugs from when they were 6 months old that they didn't consent to either. So, but yeah. So if you're talking about the current Prime Minister Trudeau, yeah, he's probably out. Justin Trudeau is probably going to lose office this year, next year. But the guy in the running to replace him, nobody really likes either. So, other than the anti-vaxxers, but they're all out of their minds. Samuel says they use simple domain to survive Malevolent Shrine. The one when Sukuna used Fuga. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that simple domain wasn't necessary. I didn't realize that simple domain was a part of new Shadow Style. I guess I forgot that. But we were never given an indication that people who learn... We were given the indication that people who learn simple domains, like Toto, have a curse technique, but haven't developed or learned a domain expansion, or might not ever. So, they learn simple domain, so they aren't... They have no... so they have a way of fighting against people with domains. Even if you're Toto, you're super strong, you got a great technique, but you don't have a domain, so you would always lose a domain clash. All someone far weaker than Toto has to do is go domain expansion, they would win against Toto. Simple domain, I thought, was sort of, alright, we're going to have a counter. It's just a simple countermeasure, a defensive wall against if you don't have a domain expansion yet. Dropping all this lore on us in the final fucking chapters, when we should be at a funeral, is fucking stupid. Like, we didn't know there were restrictions. I thought it was just something like, yeah, Gojo, Yoga, any seasoned veteran guy, Jujutsu sorcerer, I thought could teach simple domain. You know what I mean? I thought they could teach simple domain to the students. There was never any indication that there was a drawback. There was not talk about life force and binding vows and all this bullshit. And New Shadow Style is actually an evil, corrupt, disciples feeding the life force of the head and all this bullshit. Like, that's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous thing to bring up. This is a terrible fucking chapter. 269 is shit. I'm just going to say. But yeah, okay. Quick break, then 270 and 271, and maybe that list, because we're 2.5 hours in. I'm starting to get hungry, too. I should have probably eaten before I did the stream, but I didn't think the chat would be going crazy, because nobody likes me talking Jujutsu Kaisen, because I call out the bullshit. Maybe a little bit of biased bullshit, but still, I do call out legitimate bullshit, in my opinion. Of course, it is my opinion. It's my channel, my bar, my boat. And so I didn't expect many people to jump in and stuff. So, yeah, but it is what it is. Anyways, we will be right back, and then we will do Chapter 270. Alright. We're back for the last bit for anybody who still cares about my opinion. There won't be too many of those. Because, yeah. But, I mean, as I've said, I saw a lot of hate, so I know it's not just me. I did see a lot of damn hate. Without spoiling for the last few chapters, and I understand for 269. 269 was not good. But, alright, so we're officially on the TCB for 270, and then we'll read 271. So let's see. Okay, so, is it funeral time? I see a gravestone. Thank you. Fushiguro. Don't worry about it. Megumi's sister there, Tsumiki, saying their goodbyes to his oldest sister. Thank you. Even if it's all that's left is cremation, it's worth it to make them look nice. My actions helping her feel pretty in the afterlife is all the thanks I need. I don't understand what they did. They put flowers on the grave. They made a gravestone. It's worth it to make them look nice. Oh, like the ashes or something? I don't understand. How do you make ashes look nice? Okay. Shoko. That moron should have let me handle Gito's body too. Oh, I see. Okay. I see what I see what she said. Because you don't want them to come back as curses and stuff like that. Right. So you burn the body. That moron should have let me handle Gito's body too. Yes, indeed. That would have solved so much problems. So many problems. I mean, Kenjaku still would have been alive, but wouldn't have taken over Gito's body. So, yeah. You can say that again. Not that I believe in an afterlife anyways. So, Jesus, that's dark at a fucking graveyard. This is Fushiguro. Oh, a cell phone? Got it. Understood. I'll head there now. And Shoko waves away, looks at her cigarette weirdly, and then throws it in the trash. Is she gonna give up smoking? Okay. The previously consumed Master Tengen was found. Wait, what? Among Sukuna's remains. There were no remains. There were literally no remains. What are you talking about? After he was torn from Fushiguro Megumi's body. Okay. There were no remains. Alright. Yeah, these chapters are not good. The further you go, you're like expecting, there's still a few chapters left, still a few chapters left. I was more optimistic at the beginning of the stream. The further we get down to the very end, I'm realizing, okay, this is not going to be solved. This is just plot. This is just a plot hole. What does this mean for Master Tengen's barrier around Japan? You mean that useless thing that killed fucking an innocent girl? Yeah, I don't care about it. It seems they'll remain in place as long as Sukuna's remnants are preserved. What remnants? He literally dissolved in Yuji's hands. There was nothing there. Ashes. That's a relief. We should hurry in to put them in place, the contingencies and countermeasures. No need to be hasty, huh? You're all still so young. Alright. You needn't worry yourselves with this just yet. And Maki says delivery. Throws a katana. Oh, it's the katana guy! It's the katana guy. Where was he in the final battle? Fuck Noburo returning. Where was our katana man who literally fought against a souped up curse and of Noya, and it was like, I can't see him. Doesn't matter. Slice. I was like, this man is a boss. He got a cursed tool katana. What a boss. And there's the sumo guy. Now that the culling game has ended, oh yeah, that was a thing. That never went anywhere. Literally, the culling game was an excuse to bring everybody to a battle royale, and the culling game officially never actually... Well, it did end, but it didn't really do anything. Just made people fight each other. That's all it did. And Kenjaku's plan for why he made it never manifested. Okay. There'll probably be talks about what to do with the incarnated types, which are these two, right? Seeing as Megumi came back alive, they'll likely have Yuji and Hana remove the cursed objects from the victims' bodies. Then there's the players taken by the American military. They remembered the military? Gege actually remembering plot lines? Let's go. They're players taken by the American military during all the chaos with the rule additions. We'll probably have to go get them back. We can't let you go as exceptions just because you're friendly. Okay, so... But Maki's gonna let them go? You didn't hear it from me, but since they went public saying cursed spirits are a Tokyo exclusive phenomenon. So wait a minute, they told the world, yeah, ghosts and goblins exist. Just letting you know. But it's only in Japan. You know, you ever seen the Grudge movie? Freaky as fuck. The original's even creepier, Ju-on. Yeah, but yeah, so that shit's real. Don't worry about it. Just don't come to Japan if you're afraid. You know, even with the calling game finished, that'll be a safe zone. Curses throughout Japan are sure to keep gathering in Tokyo. That's where I'd hide out. I'll have no shortage of beasts to slice open. No thanks, the sumo guys. Sumo with cursed spirits sounds like a drag. Do whatever you want. Just know that this is the last time I'll be watching your back. Now scram. Hey, Maki. When the time comes to give me the axe, you'd better be there. I'll be sure to cut you down. That's the pride of a swordsman and a swordswoman. This is the type of interaction we needed. We didn't need to know anything about new Shadow Styles plotline bullshit that was not relevant for the entire series. We did not need that. This is what we needed. This is nice. This is a nice, you know... Let's see. Magazine should remain physical. Oh, this is Charles. Seeing a manuscript in print can provide valuable feedback for the author. Newcomers ought to have their work printed next to a veteran's author at least once. You have a bitter tale to tell there, don't you? I'm just among artists who art sucks. Tick, tick. Better hurry. The print shop won't wait around for some newbie's one-shot, and they... don't wait around for the pros either. I mean, this is true. Is this a shot at Shueisha again? You know, most manga in their last couple of chapters, they take a shot at the industry, which fair enough. As much as I think Gege is not that great a mangaka overall, he's good. He's certainly not great. He fumbled a lot of this, in my opinion, and that he didn't need to. But suffice to say, they all are overworked like shit. So, yeah. And let's see. Why? Did anybody actually die but Gojo? Did anybody die except Gojo? The one who made... the character that made this series popular is the only one that dies? Jesus Christ. Okay, Higuruma doesn't die. Yuta didn't die. Yuji didn't die. Takaba now didn't die. Angel didn't die. Megumi didn't die. Nobara didn't die. Who the fuck died? Gojo and Chozo now. And Kenjaku. And Sukuna. So the two main bad guys and two hero characters. 4 deaths. But we revived... we're doing a fairy tale here. We're bringing back like way too many characters. This is fairy tale level fucking revival. You know? With no explanation. At least Dragon Ball has the plot armor of the literal Dragon Balls. Call it lazy writing and shit, but at the time, Dragon Balls were established in the series long before it was a part of the series, literally called Dragon Ball. They wish people die, they just wish them back. This is fairy tale. No, you thought they were dead. They didn't. My God. And I love that the comedian is alive. Because he's awesome. But it doesn't make much sense. Let's see. What's he doing? Listen, it's fine to have your fair share of dirty jokes. But we should hold off on the sex jokes. Sure, we're doing some inappropriate material, but it's about shit and piss. Jesus. Like Puri Puri, Mara, or Hattori-kun. Isn't that the same thing? Who's he talking to? Like I've been saying, they're completely different. Are you even listening? Well, at least he's still into comedy, and apparently he's got a show. He's still doing his comedy routine. Good for him. Who's he talking? Scratch that. Never mind. Nobody but Gojo died. Chozo, you don't even count anymore. God damn it. So, is this... Kenjaku's alive? Or is it Gito? Which one's alive? And why... You brought Kenjaku back to life? Are you fucking stupid? Are you kidding me? Whatever, man. Let's go rehearse the new things. Wow, don't say that in public. You're paying today. What, you think rehearse is some kind of dirty word? I mean, it's kind of a happy ending for Takaba, which is fine. I'm glad he's alive, I suppose, in his comedian routine. But I think his character arc was fantastic. I think it was good with his death. That worked. And wouldn't it be funny if I brought back the evil fucking guy taking back shots just for the lulz back to life? Wouldn't that be funny? Oh my god. Oh my god. I did not realize how horrendous this was going to be. I did not. Oh my god. Up till 268, it was it was fine. Nobara was like, alright, Gege, you kind of had that in your back pocket, you're pulling it out, like it's not convenient. Whatever. That was basically the worst part. And once again, what did Yuji's domain do? I'm still sitting there. But the like from 269 and 270, there's a lot of issues. We just revived 4 supposed dead characters in 2 chapters, taking a lot of the weight away from the battle. Yeah. It's been a while. Huh? We're following this guy. This is the dude that he bullied or whatever. This one-shot character. I don't even remember this dude's name. It begins with an I. I wanted to apologize for what I did back then. But he just walks away. Yeah, figures. I just wanted to fix things. I mean, did we really waste 2 pages on that? We wasted 2 pages on this guy whose name I don't even know. Where's the damn funeral? Where's stuff we care about? Where's the 20 years later thing? Where's the... Looks like they're not going to prosecute. Oh, Higuruma, at least we like. Likely pressure from the top brass. I hear they're going to work me to the bone as a sorcerer. Oh, they're... Oh, because... Yeah, so they're not going to prosecute him is the idea. Forgive me, what's left is a retrial. Oh, this is his understudy or whatever. On behalf of the Brigade as their attorney, I'll be sure to really nail you, Mr. Higuruma. I'm counting on it. Well, good for her, because that's something that he believed in, is the whole retrial, 99%, it never goes through. There's a 90% conviction rate or something. Japan is no, you get charged, you're guilty. There's no way to win. And he was against it, so this is a nice little ode to that, but we shouldn't have it, because Higuruma should be dead. I like his character, but he should have died. Angel's still around. Sukuna striking as he did would have to mean Fushiguro Megumi's memories regarding you have already been unearthed, Hana. She's like scared of him. What's there to be embarrassed about? Shut it. And there's Fushiguro still looking on, remembering when he bit her and stuff. I want to take responsibility for my actions. Let me be your right hand from now on, Kurusu. Where's his scar? Like, he has 2 on that eye. I see the shadow from that, but he had a scar over here. It's literally in the last panel. Okay. Alright. Alright. And what do you mean be your right hand? What? Alright. Do I hear wedding bells? And Megumi's like, no. That's not what I meant. I've got a mission, so I'll talk to you later. I moved too quickly. He got all tongue-tied. Yeah, I mean, saying like, let me help you out a little bit. Like, are we getting married? Alright, now who's this? I'm home. Hey. You left the hallway light on. Click. Want to go out to eat tonight? Oh, good idea. Ugh. What about Yakinko, whatever that is? What the who are these people? What is going on here in these chapters? Like, this is not an ending. This is I don't know what this is. The victim is 126-year-old male Fukuzawa Sota. According to his fiancée, his face began to look as though it were morphing as of 2 weeks ago. Doesn't look morphed to me. I mean, he just looks like a dude trying to be a pro wrestler. Wait, are we seriously just doing a mission? A case? Like, there's a curse around. Where's the... We're not skipping Gojo's funeral. We're not seriously skipping Gojo's funeral for new Shadow Style plot bullshit that nobody cared about and fucking a mission? A slice of life mission? Wow. You're ripped, dude. What's your secret? Come on, come on. Heh. I wrestled till high school. So apparently this is how your fiance is seeing you, which means the one actually cursed is me? Okay, so he's actually fine. Kugisaki, alright little lady, let's get you a physical. The residual here is only enough to cause an icky feeling, just as Ichi-chan said. There's very low chances the work of a cursed spirit. You think no cursed spirit is possessing her, and the residue is only enough to cause slight emotional unrest. This is probably the work of a curse user. Actually, I can't sense any intent to kill. It could be an awakened player that made it through the culling game. Why are we adding plot? The series is over. But we know semi-first grade cursed spirits possess free will, so they can hold back. And we've seen emulations increase the number of victims, like at Yasachi Bridge, so we can't fully rule out the possibility of a cursed spirit. So this is basically just some cursed user harassment, right? That'll be a piece of cake for us three. Itadori, Fushiguro, Kugisaki, and a curse user? Next issue, a center color spread. Next up is the final chapter. The gun fires for their last mission. This is... Okay, So let's see. Catching up with the chat. Caden says, so Rika is supposed to be the second strongest cursed spirit, and Sukuna is number 1, aka Queen of Curses and King of Curses. Yep. So let's be real. He killed Gojo, of course, because he didn't like him, and he was too OP to have him in the sequel. There's going to be a sequel. I heard there wasn't going to be a sequel. And if there is, then this still makes this ending even worse, because it means hurry up, and we're going to throw more money for Jujutsu Kaisen. We're just going to have you ruin the fucking end of the series. They did it 7 Deadly Sins, guys. It was awful. And if they're doing that now, that's going to be terrible. Samuel said Gojo, Kashimo, Yuki, Chozo, all villains. Basically, those are the important deaths. Gojo died. Yep. Kashimo was a useless bum, so we don't care. Yuki died, and it was stupid the way she died. So Chozo is an actual death. And no, all the villains did not die. Because Kenjaku's back to life. So Kenjaku's alive. So, yeah. Sukuna died, Gojo died, Kashimo died, Yuki died, and Chozo died. That's 5 deaths. Or Arame. 6 deaths. 6 actual named character deaths. But, which doesn't sound bad in theory. But add up all the people who we thought were dead. Add up the actual number of people. Because who are we missing from this list is Yuta, Nobara, Kenjaku, Higuruma, Jesus Christ. Who am I thinking of? Kenjaku. Anyways, there's like, point is that the same amount of characters that died is the same amount of. We thought there were like 10 or 11 character deaths, and there was really only like 5. That's not a good number. That's not a good number whatsoever, man. That's some fairy tale bullshit. Samuel said, I don't think that is Kenjaku. Is probably a product of Takaba's technique, bringing what he thinks is fun into reality. So he can manifest Kenjaku, but not Kenjaku, back into Gito's body to act as like a... That's kind of dark and twisted and sort of sick. Caden said, and the only way for it to sort of kind of make sense is for Sukuna to kill him. Because historically, it would make sense to the verse. Yeah. That's what I said you were asking for a lot. Oh, right, you did say that, Caden. You did say I was asking for a lot. This is one of the worst endings I have ever read. It really is. This is not an ending. This is right up there with 7 Deadly Sins ending, man. This is right there. But 7 Deadly Sins was drawn better, so... I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's read the last chapter now that we're caught up with the chat. We get a nice color page spread here. Looks like we're including all the characters. Maki's got her arm around Yuta. She's really Tsunade, being a Tsunade that... Oh, Gito, there's Gojo, Toto. Oh, alright. Out of everyone, I will say, like, there's Kilala with Akari and stuff. 2 people are cut off for some reason. I don't know why. Is that meant to be Kashimo and I don't know who the other person's supposed to be? But they're pushing Mekamaru and Miwa together. That's kind of nice. Not gonna lie, that's kind of nice in that color spread. Okay. Anyway, so there is a color spread. It's a nice color spread. Let's see. Catch the Scoundrel. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no interest in reading about this fucking mission. So I'm just going to read through it. I'm not going to comment on any of it. I'm just going to read through it. Couldn't find a cursed seal or mark anywhere on this chick. The curse user's got to be nearby, right? Assuming they're not a cursed spirit and are working remotely, we got to get the hell out of Dodge. You think we're in their range? Maybe. Their technique could be suited for covert work. Or they could be extremely skilled with cursed energy. This is becoming a pain. Did his face ever go back to normal, like, at all? No, I mean, I don't think so. Maybe when I was asleep? Assuming it's a no, then we're dealing with a range of at least 50 meters. Let's say 100 to be safe. What's the move? We're smack dab in the middle of the town right now. There's people everywhere. Even if we check the buildings, there's too many blind spots. Although we should be able to notice when the technique is activated again, we get a good vantage point. Oh, duh, just like an unopened field. Found you. That'd work great if the guy was a colossal dumbass. Does that make me a dumbass for coming up with it? Moron. See, I can't even enjoy this interaction because, Gege, you fucked up, you ruined the ending, and you skipped what matters. So I don't care about this slice of life shit. This should have happened if there was like 5 more chapters of epilogue to go through. Most series have like 3 minimum chapters of epilogue. You gave us like half of one so far. Let's give the babe to Itadori. He can clear 100 meters in a flash. Even if the technique is disabled by moving out of range, they'd have to be a real idiot to show themselves right after, and we'd already established they're not going to chase after us. They'd still just wait till things cooled off and start over. We can't do anything to stand out. Who's the moron now? Kugisake? Yeah. How about sending them on an all-expensive paid trip? That might work, but the curse user likely knows her location through their technique. We only have our eyes. Let's not stalk the stalker. If we send them on a trip, there might be a force the curse user to wait and reactivate their technique when they get back. Not entirely implausible. That'd be the ball in the culprit's court. Do you do anything but nitpick? Yeah. Plus, you're assuming that the curse user is super smart. There's plenty out there dumber than us. Yeah. Try me at Othello, Fushiguro. I'd wash you. Hell yeah. Let's show them our brains. You two sound like you're compensating for something. Yeah. Nobro with a good personality and Yuji with... I don't know. He's just there. I'm borrowing your sandals. Alright, he's just going to walk out. We'll leave them in the technique's range, then we'll strike the moment it's reactivated. That's exactly what I've been saying. My plan involves that. A 40-floor condo. It should easily be over 150 meters. Then Ichiji-san and a window can keep an eye on a buzzer on the entrance. We'll find a good lookout point and wait for the reactivation. We're dealing with a creep obsessed to stalk Fukuwaza-san 24 hours a day. We didn't find any hidden microphones. As long as they don't have a technique that lets them overhear our conversations, we should be able to bait them. And then they go up. Door 40. Oh, your face is back to normal. Alright, so they've noticed. And then, boom. Well, that was fucking easy. I mean, once again, it is the last chapter, so I'm not... Like, I didn't think they'd wait until the very end to reveal the culprit or anything like that, but still. Who the hell are you? Kugisaki, ready for launch. Yeah, his face turned back. And boom, 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 boom. She's going down. They're going to kick ass. Piece of cake, yeah. Gua. Oh, they see each other with the same, it's the eyes. Wah. Idiots. And there's Divine Dog looking awesome. No, you guys. Immediately, Fushiguro shows them up. Awesome. Taking things lightly, I see. Sorry. You know this dude? Let's see. No. I've never seen him before, huh? You bitch. Huh? Who do you think bought you that bag? Huh? Oh. Are we literally... The last chapter we're doing an unrequited love, a stalker who's obsessed with a woman who buys her nice things or whatever and doesn't get to like what? And she's got a boyfriend and what? Are we really doing this? Are we doing something like that right now? Oh, who'd have thought? Classic pot calling the kettle black type situation. What do you mean? Seems like a petty grudge. It's not unreasonable to expect her to remember every customer from her hostess work. She's an escort. She's a stripper. She's whatever. Oh my god. I mean, it might not be as a hostess, but yeah, that's implied. Oh my. Dude spent 1 million yen. Who'd forget that? Nobara, you absolutely would. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig. You're so clueless, you know that? So he's looking at the guy in the car. Hey, don't look so glum, chum. Not like you're going to be executed or anything. What are you going to do with me? I'm well past the age where I should know how to communicate, but I tried putting all my blame on her. I thought that after Kusakabe Sensei, I'd do some switch training with you, Gojo Sensei. Okay, so we jump right away to, is this the conversation that Gojo and Yuji had so that he doesn't need to have the letter? I guess that'd be fine by me, but how do I put this? Haven't we had enough Gojo Satoru? What? Oh. Remember when I said that mangaka usually use the last couple chapters to basically kidney punch the industry for being underpaid, overworked, and fucking on a terrible fucking run business? Yeah. So that was true. And it's also true that sometimes they use it to speak their own words. Haven't we had enough Gojo Satoru? Just because you hate your own... just because you drew a character, Gege, that your wife is more attracted to than you, doesn't mean... I don't even know if Buddy's married. I don't. Is Gege even a man? We don't... Do we know that? Doesn't mean... Like... Oh my god. This is a hate boner letter. That's all this is. These last couple of chapters have been a middle finger to Gojo fans. And the thing about that is, I'm losing a lot of respect for Gege as a manga artist because he's letting his personal feelings about a character he created became super popular and now wants to shit all over him, which that's the reason you're making the money and were as popular as you were in the first place was him. You had a Naruto cast with a Bleach storyline. You weren't very original, Gege. You were not. JJK Zero was original, but this was not. You owe everything to this character you created, and then you decide to not only shit on the character in the last few months, you don't even give him a send-off. I assume at this point, we only have like 6-7 pages left. There is no funeral. You shit on his character, you give him an off-screen death, and then you continue to make fun. Like, you are disrespecting your readers and fans by doing that. That I'm losing tons of respect for him as a mangaka. You just don't do that shit. You know, because you know when Tite Kubo tried to write, and I'll give you an example. Tite Kubo wrote Gin Ichimaru to try to be the creepiest, slimiest. Women are fucking... Their panties become the Sahara Desert when Gin Ichimaru comes on screen. And it backfired, and women love him. It becomes a rainforest down there for women, for Gin Ichimaru, right? And Tite Kubo has said, I don't know how it happened, but all right. And so he started making more suggestions about, he was like, all right, did he shit all over Gin's character? No, he made him one of the best written characters in his whole fucking manga, is what he did. He made him a fantastic character, is what he did. He didn't shit all over Gin fans and Gin fangirls just because he was trying to make a creepy-ass fucking character, and it was like, oh, no, people like him? No, gotta keep making him creepier, do all these vile things. No. He was like, all right, well, I intended A, B happened, I'll roll with it. Because Kubo appreciates his fans, Gege wants to troll and shit on them. That's all I'm getting from this, and that's a very... It's just like Murata for One Punch Man. He's shitting on his fans, and the worst part is the fans are too blind to see it. Murata fans are too blinded by his 11 out of 10 art to see that he is treating them... He doesn't respect his fans. He does not respect them. That's the big thing. There's no respect. You are being disrespected every week by this mangaka, this author, and you're too blind to see it because you like the series. And it's really sad. It's very sad. But that's what I'm seeing here. Yep. Gege, you're I won't be reading your next series. Let's just continue the last bit. I want you to be a bit more forward thinking, Yuji. Sure, I want you to carry on my dream should anything happen to me. What was Gojo's dream? We don't know about that. This ain't One Piece. I don't know what his fucking dream was. Because Gege didn't tell me. But if this is where I bow out, there'll be a point where you guys grow further than I ever did, right? I think there should be at least one among you who forgets about me and develops strength completely different from that on my own. None of us could ever forget you. You seem kind of out of character. No shit. Airport scene. Hello? Gojo not acting like Gojo whatsoever. You sounding a little timid. Are you okay? Hi. You're such a kid. This is confidence I've never had before. I'm expecting great things from you. Got that, Yuji? You acknowledge you messed up. That's all that matters. Alright, back to the present with this random dude. This stalker guy. Take some time to reflect and come help us on our next mission. I'm expecting great things from you. So Yuji's apparently become a sensei, all of it. He's like 17 years old. By the way, what did you do with that thing? Oh, I tossed it. What? Don't sweat it. It's not dangerous anymore. Should make for a perfect talisman now. Come on. It's all good. What did he toss? I don't understand what he tossed. What the hell is this shit? Mahito and Sukuna are alive in some weird-ass fucking dimension now? Fan-damn-tastic. We're skipping all this shit. Oh, God. God, this is bad. Howdy, Sukuna. Who would have thought to see you here? Where are you? Well, what's this? Our third conversation. My technique messes with the souls, after all. Consider this a vestige. Welcome to the pathway souls walk on their way down the cycle. Okay, so they're in a... I'm accepting of that. They're in a limbo, sort of purgatory area where you got to choose a street. The airport without the airport. Got it. I meant to ask you. You were lying, weren't you? To yourself and everyone else. You weren't living according to your own stature. You wanted revenge. Revenge against those who resented and persecuted that cursed, unwanted little wretch. What? Who was that cursed, unwanted little wretch? Is he saying that he was... Don't do it. Don't do it. What's the difference? I lived in the only manner I knew. This is how I chose to go on. Actually, no. I had different paths I could have traversed. 2, to be precise. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. It's still possible he doesn't do it. Who the fuck are these two supposed characters behind Sukuna? Sure, we won't know. And yet, I couldn't help but spit out the curses stirring deep within my viscera. I feared my own curse would immolate me. So he was born with the curse that I assumed this. Immolate. What the fuck is immolate? Immolate. Kill or offer as a sacrifice, especially by burning. So he did this because he was... And now he's hugging... Is this Arame? Should there be a next time? Perhaps it would be nice to walk a different path. Sukuna is officially ruined. That's so boring, Mahito, you're right. You've gotten soft, asshole. Obviously, I lost after all. No! 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 This is not how you write Frieza, Shishio. You don't write evil for the sake of evil and then turn it off at the last second. Oh my god, they ruined Sukuna too. Gege couldn't just let it lie. He could have just... Oh. Now Sukuna's fucking... Sukuna was written great. One of the key marks with very little complaint. Major problem at the very end. Gege hates his own manga. He likes the paychecks. He was bored of the story 5 fucking years ago. He was bored of it after he wrote the first arc. I swear to fuck. But if you're taking home all the cash from Gojo paychecks, you ain't gonna fucking say, you know what, no, I want to cancel this and move on to the next thing. That'd be like J.K. Rowling fucking stopping at Harry Potter book number 2 going, I'm good with having $100,000. We want book number 3, we'll pay you $1 million. Nah, I really don't want to write another Harry Potter. Yes, you do. You know, so that's what this was. It's coming clear as day. Oh my God. What the hell? So I'm the one only left sulking like a child? God damn it. We didn't need to see him again. We didn't. And there's Yuta, Panda, Inamaki, the original crew apparently fine. Just walking around. There's Hikari and Kilala. I guess they're together. There's Yuji, Fushiguro, and Nobara just laughing, chilling. And then inside a little shrine, there's the final Sukuna finger. Thank you so much for reading these past 6 years. Please look forward to Gege Akutami's next work. Volumes 29 and 30 will be released together on Christmas. Well, that's not a very nice Christmas gift, is it? That's more of that's a Krampus gift, if anything. Oh my shit. I can't. Does anybody actually defend this as good? Like, I'm sure there's fans who are like, it wasn't great, but, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I still love the series, and there were some good points and stuff. I wish there was this, but, you know, like, I'm sure there's those people. But I want to know, are there people who actually think this was good writing? This was a good ending. Good narrative. Because I want to, wherever you live, I want you to check into the nearest insane asylum. I want you to call a therapist, a sponsor, anything. Get better drugs. If you're not on drugs, start. No, I can't promote that. But still, my God. Holy shit, that was terrible. That was worse than 7 Deadly Sins. That was the worst manga ending I have ever read in my life. Officially, 100%, 3.5 hours on my Friday. And it's not like I have a life anymore, so whatever. I'm a depressed son of a bitch. But I can't believe that I could feel worse than I already do this year. That hurt me. I'm glad I'm disconnected enough from Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm glad I got out when I did. Because I would be raving like a lunatic. You guys think that I'm whoa now. I'd be throwing things if I was still invested in this fucking series. I'd be anger management, dial a fucking 1-800 anger management problems because I'd be livid. I'd be over the moon about this. This is why I drop series. This is why you drop series. Because I'm not even invested. I think JJK is officially it was a 7 to 6 out of 10 at best. It just dropped to a 5 at minimum. It can't be above a 6. It's got to be a 5 for the most part. And that, yeah. You imagine if I had kept up with it and had some investment. Holy shit. You have to know when to walk away. You have to know these things. Because I'm upset. And you know why I'm upset? You know why I'm actually upset? It's not for me. I had a stream. I got a chat going. I'm having a good, relatively good Friday. And I promised to do this anyway. It's out of the way. Fantastic. And I'm glad that I finished the story. I'm one of those guys that it boils me in the back of my brain if I leave a book series unfinished, if I leave a manga unfinished, no matter what, if I don't like it, a TV show, whatever. I want to know what happens at the end, right? I'm built like that. So I was going to do this anyways. But why I'm upset? I'm upset for people who are actually fans of this series. I'm upset for you guys. Because you don't deserve to be treated this way. You as fans, as readers, and people who purchase and spend even a single cent towards this are being disrespected. You're being shat on with no good reason for it. Gege's not sick. The series is only over because he's wanted it to be over in every interview for the past 3 years. He wanted it to be over in 2022. He wanted it over in 2023. And he certainly wanted it over this year. The man has been trying to end a popular series. He's been trying to sabotage it this whole time. So I just feel very, on behalf of true fans who just wanted a good story with a good ending, I feel disrespected for you. I feel that on your account, I just feel that. I'm so sorry that this is the ending to some people's top 5 manga, some people's favorite series. And I feel so bad for you. In the same way, I said the same thing years ago. 5-6 years ago, whenever 7 Deadly Sins ended, I felt bad for myself as a long-running fan, but I had Nia D. Hemmings on a podcast with me, a fellow fan of 7 Deadly Sins at the time, saying he had dropped it long before, and he urged all of us to do it because we were not enjoying it. But no, we loved the series, we were huge fans, and he just said the same thing. He goes, I'm disconnected from it now. I feel bad for you guys because you stuck with it and were treated like shit. You know? So I'm going to do the same thing that Nia did for me years ago on a podcast. I'm going to say it back to you, the Jujutsu Kaisen fans. I'm sorry. I really am, because that was not a good ending. That was poorly written. It didn't need to be. It was shit for a lot of things, and Gege does not respect any of you fans. Or what made him popular, which was Gojo. And he shits on Gojo fans. He really does. There's no other way to say it. So I feel very bad for you guys. We're going to catch up with the chat. Then, as I said, there was a tweet by, I believe, let me pull it up here. Big Daddy Gojo, apparently, I think. But it was all over Reddit past day or two. And it was all over Twitter and stuff, and it's this list of things, and I avoided it the moment I saw the title. I avoided it, but I wanted to see how many of these are in my personal checkbox of things that Gege forgot, didn't cover, or never got resolved, because there's apparently a lot of issues. I see them now. I want to see what other issues that maybe I missed that were never brought up. So, but before we get into that, let's catch up with the chat here. Let's see. So. Anton Score says, this ending has me pissed for real. I understand. Kane said, same. It was just rushed. It wasn't even needed to be rushed. Like, we didn't need 3 of these chapters. You could have had the epilogue chapter and the funeral. Instead, he wasted 1 whole chapter on new Shadow Style bullshit that goes nowhere and has no bearing. Then, he wastes 2 chapters on shitting on Gojo fans one last time and a slice of life new mission for the trio. 3 of those chapters could have been dedicated to a proper funeral and epilogue and tried to make an ending. I never want to hear fucking bullshit about Bleach's ending ever fucking again. I never want to hear a Jujutsu Kaisen fan ever insult Bleach's ending. Or Naruto. I don't even like Naruto. And Naruto's ending was better than this. Toriko's ending was better than this. Toriko's ending, actually, for a rush shonen ending, for a canceled series, probably one of the best written. Still rushed as hell. You can tell. But still, this wasn't rushed. This was bullshit. Anton said, I think Gege rushed it out of health problems or something. See, no, he wants to start that new idol manga. He's wanted to end the series for years. Because there is no other logical reason for shitting the bed this bad. But if that were the case, why the 3 chapters of nothing? Why the waste 3 whole chapters doing absolutely nothing and then giving one last middle finger to Sukuna fans and Gojo fans? He's trolling you guys. He doesn't have health. He has no more health problems than any other long series running mangaka does. Like, it's just ridiculous. Caden said, or he got the Bleach treatment. Which, once again, Bleach's ending didn't do this. He wasted ink and pages and time of fans, is what he did. Anton said, hold up, what's the Bleach treatment? Caden said, the higher-ups telling the creator to finish their stories within a few chapters. Damn. Which, once again, even so, he was given a solid 5 chapters, and he wasted 3 of them. Bare minimum, wasted 3 full chapters to give us a shit ending. And even if that was supposed to be a middle finger to the higher-ups, all you did was insult your fans. So that's not right. You got to be the bigger man. Anton said, damn. Frostleaf said, not going to lie, JJK getting a part 2 might be the worst thing to happen to it if it happens. Yeah, no, because it's going to make this ending even worse. Because it means if JJK 2 is greenlit in the next year or 2, that means that there was no reason to cancel it. Gege wanted out. He said, and here's the thing, I don't believe he got the Bleach treatment. Kubo was forced out due to health reasons. That's a fact. Gege has said for 3 fucking years in a row he wants to end the series. So, no, I don't believe he got the Bleach treatment. I don't believe he got the higher-ups. He saw an opening, and he took it. Samuel said, his dream was forming strong and independent students to change the Jujutsu world for good, and at the end it was fulfilled. Fair enough. Okay, that's something that I stand corrected on. Thank you, Samuel. Caden said, that might be true. Caden said he's talking about Sukuna Finger. Frostleaf said, Limbo and Purgatory are completely different things. I know, but I was just using Dante's Inferno, Limbo, Purgatory. It's trying to say that, because different people use different forms. See, when you read as much as I have or seen as much as I have, people interchange these things. This is the plane between life and death. This is limbo, purgatory, the plane of existence between life and death. This is the void. This is the blank space. This is the gray terminal. This is all these different people use them interchangeably. I was just trying to say the same thing. This is the soul Karen. I think that was Elder Scrolls with the soul Karen. Samuel said, the wretch is Sukuna. He said it in 237 to Kashimo, I think. Okay. So literally, yeah. No, I'm not even going down that Sukuna line. Oh my god. One is Urarame. I assumed so, but what does that mean? Samuel, if you'd like to become someone new, go north. If you'd like to return to who you once were, go south. Gojo went south and Sukuna went north. Wrong! It ruins Gojo and Sukuna. God damn it. That's what I hate about the airport scene. Gojo could have gone... Gojo was the one who didn't need to improve. Gojo goes south or go north and get stronger, get better, get whatever one. The reversal for the 2 characters. That was, yeah. Kane said, basically, that's Sukuna middle finger. Basically saying that to the fan base. Absolutely. Kane said, yes. Kane said, OP is going to have the worst ending. One Piece is going to have the worst ending of them all. Not because it's going to be bad, but all the hype it's gotten throughout the years. See, I don't believe that. I believe there'll be many people unhappy with One Piece's ending, but I think it's going to be solid. No one's going to rush Oda. No one's going to rush Oda. Kane said, it's just not going to live up to the overhype. Absolutely. Because people are dialing it up. It'll be the best ending of any fiction, of any reality, of the 18 universes, of the multiverse. One Piece's ending will be better than anything you have ever seen in your goddamn life. Level of hype. That's an unrealistic expectation. That is the fault of the fan base, not the fault of Oda. One Piece's ending will be great. Caden said, Overlord is number 1. I actually don't watch Overlord. Process said, if JJK2 happens, it's going to enter into the Dragon Ball cycle of endless reuse of the same shit for decades because the readers eat up anything even if it becomes a parody of itself. Exactly. Kane said, Garp is going to be executed. No, he won't. He's Garp. He's too good. Kane said, that's funny. Okay. So before we end this stream, let's check the list of things, because I've already complained numerous times about all the things that I think are shit about this. And I think it's the worst manga ending I have ever read. Now, let's read what this big list of key points, apparently, that Big Daddy Gojo said here before we end the stream. Now, this is quote, that there's no part 2 announcement, apparently, thank God. Let me air my gripes with this ending. If it's really the end, unrelated to Gojo. Fair enough. Now, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, alright, Sukuna wankers and Gojo haters, sit the fuck down. None of this has to do with Gojo, so try reading this. Legit. So, yeah, alright. Alright, I respect it. With the preface. No Yuji domain name. Still don't know what the domain did. It was literally, I can hit a black flash or I can hit my punches, but he still ended up missing. So, never mind. No UG domain name. Okay? Fair enough. Yeah, there was no name. And it made no sense. Why did Sukuna agree to the domain, like to just go on through as his Yuji version of himself and go on a walk with Yuji in the middle of a fight? That's so out of character for Sukuna if it wasn't his sure hit effect. Now I'm being told it's not part of his sure hit effect. His sure hit effect is hitting him with the soul punch. But the soul punch, first off, he missed or was blocked a couple of times, and Sukuna apparently could use Hollow Wicker Basket at any time. None of that adds up. So, anyways, but yeah, no domain name for the domain that made no sense. Next point. Sudden conclusion to the Sukuna fight when it was finally him and Yuji alone, when way more time should have been spent on it. At least like 5-10 chapters, man. I mean, that, I could say more in the lowercase. 5 chapters, not 10. Didn't need 10. But, alright, fair gripe. Megumi having no character development because he ended the story exactly the same as he began. True! He's the exact same in 271 as he was at the beginning of the story. Never seeing Megumi's full potential that Gojo talked about. True. Didn't even think of that. Never seeing Megumi's complete domain. True. Again. Nobara being gone for the majority of the story just to come back at the end when she could have been there all along. I get it's for shock value, but it's a waste of her character. Agree, and I doubled down on that whole Gege just kept that in his back pocket because he didn't know what the fuck to do, and he was like, hehehehe. Maybe I'll bring her back, maybe I won't. Not that it makes any sense that the higher-ups would hide her corpse into a coma thing and not tell the kids for some reason, even though we're not fighting Sukuna. Gojo's still not unlocked. The Culling games haven't even started, but no. We're not going to tell anybody that Nobara's alive. We're going to keep her hidden. She's kind of comatose, maybe dead, we don't know. And we're not going to tell anybody. Yeah. So that's my take on the Nobara bullshit. Let's see. Random plot lines introduced in the last chapters. Thank you, I'm not the only one. To make it seem like Gege was building up to something. Which he wasn't. He concluded it in the same chapter. He introduced it and concluded it. Something that could have been literally a 30 chapter arc, he concludes in fucking one chapter. Introduces and concludes. Not one person talking about Gojo's death. No one acting like they cared. No burial shown. Thank you. Not getting a Sukuna backstory whatsoever. That's true. We never understood. All we get is the lame, maybe I didn't have to be evil bullshit that ruined Sukuna's character at the end. And y'all, he doesn't need a backstory. Motherfuckers need to stop dick riding, because when you have ever seen a villain not get a backstory, it's true. They all basically get backstories. And even if, you know what? I would sacrifice the backstory for not showing the shit at 271. If you wanted to erase the 271 Mojito talk, I'd say, okay, Sukuna doesn't need a backstory. I would take no backstory and have that erased, then the backstory, and kept that in. 100%. Because then it'd just be Frieza. Frieza's considered the top villain of shonen history, period. And why? Because he's just evil. For the sake of being evil. He was strong from birth. He was the strongest. Told he was the strongest. He was like, great, I'm going to take over some shit. And I don't see a problem with that. Sukuna basically could have been written the exact same way. And he ruined him at the end. Wasting the last chapters on Culling Games characters instead of the students. Don't mind showcasing all the little characters that we've met. Like, here's these characters, here's how they're doing, here's how they're doing. I didn't even think, we didn't even get a 5 years later. 10 years later. We didn't get anything. We don't know what people are doing. What's been going on. Anybody keeping track of Takaba with the fucking Kenjaku revival, who's apparently not Kenjaku, but we have no clue because Gege doesn't tell us? Yeah, we didn't get that. No evidence of the cycle being broken because the students are still going on missions anyways. I didn't even think of that. That whole, we got to break the cycle. They didn't. No real ending to the optimize versus eradicate cursed energy plotline. Not sure which one that is, but okay. I'm sure it wasn't met. Kenjaku meeting with other countries going nowhere when Gege could have cooked so hard with that. Yeah, and I think that's all of them. Yeah. The military plotline was a weird one. I think there were other plotlines that were dropped too. Yeah. I mean... Yeah. So that's from apparently at Big Daddy Gojo or whatever. I agree with a lot of those takes. This was trash. This was the worst ending I have ever read in manga. I have read I'm closer to 300 manga series now than I was 200. So I might not be at 300 yet, but I'm probably close to it, so I'm just going to start saying nearly 300. Because I've been reading a lot of manga over the summer for distraction purposes, and yeah, this is the worst fucking ending I've ever read. Worst manga ending of all time right here. Let's see. Tenryo's in here. Hi, Tenryo. Says, JJK is still a 7 out of 10 series for me, but that ending honestly sucked. Now, if I were to break apart and say right before the Sukuna fight, or right before chapter 236, the worst fucking decision Gege, I think, made next to this ending. Up till then, I can see a good argument for 7 out of 10. I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7 myself. Up until then, yeah, up until from chapter 1, including volume 0, up to chapter 236 or 235, I'd say, yeah, 7 out of 10, fair ranking. 236 on, drops it to a 5. Easy, if not 4. I'm going to rank it as a 4 overall because this, from 236, was a middle finger to all fans. The thing that made him popular, that was disrespectful as fuck. Gege did it on purpose. And this ending was the worst thing I have ever read in manga endings ever. So, I've got to knock off at least 2 points, solid, for the ending. That drops it to a 5. And then I got to knock off another point for 236. That drops it down to a 4. And that's assuming I only knock off 2 points for this ending and only knock off 1 point for 236. And I'm generous enough to give it a 7. This, ladies and gentlemen, meaning 5 is average, wouldn't recommend. 5 is your average. 5 is your benchmark. 5 is, it's not good, it's not bad, it's there. That's what a 5 is on my 0 to 10 scale. So when I say it's a 4, I'm not going to tell anybody else to read it. Tenryo says, but if you want to say 7 out of 10 and stuff, that's fine. If you can still find enjoyment after this, that's great. And I will say, Hidden Inventory is one of my favorite manga arcs I've read in the last 10 years. I love Hidden Inventory. It was fantastic. The Goodwill event was another great arc. Small, but good. But Tenryo said, the future of battle manga and Weekly Shonen Jump isn't looking super bright. It is not. It is not. Undead Unluck is the best thing outside of One Piece running. Undead Unluck is number 2. Tenryo said, MHA's ending was honestly better than this. Oh, 100%. I didn't even keep up with it. Didn't understand half the plot points, but I still read the last 3 chapters of My Hero Academia. I was like, Yeah, that's pretty much a classic shonen, high school shonen ending. You know, superheroes, blah, blah, blah. That's standard. I expected it. It wasn't a great ending, from what I understand. Everyone was like, eh. But it wasn't this. And that's sad since I like JJK far more overall. I would argue that I did like JJK more overall than My Hero Academia. Yeah, I would say I like JJK more overall than My Hero Academia too. I would say that. I would agree to that. So yeah, I agree. That's far sadder. It really is. It really is. So yeah. If anyone has anything else to say, you know, I'll leave the stream up for another couple minutes. Yeah. No, this is, at best, JJK became a 4 out of 10 after this. It was never in my top 30 or 50, but my God, it's not even going to it's not going to see my top 100 spot. This ruined so much, and it's got some of my favorite characters in it too. Yuta Okotsu, yeah, let's go. Let's think of some other guys because they ruined Sukuna. Gojo, I like Gojo. Fushigoro's okay. Todo, awesome. Loved Mekamaru when he was there. Maki's a good character. There's solid characters. Yuki, Chozo. There's some great characters in this series. Just a shame that Gege was the one writing them. Tanir said, I love Undead Unluck, and I'm just heartbroken with the recent chapter. It's Toriko all over. I mean, we don't know that. It seems that way for right now, but there's been no announcement yet. Let's hope that this was just a decision by the mangaka to stir the pot, okay? Undead Unluck has always done random ass shit, right? Like, oh my god, are we skipping over all this, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we're into a whole different arc. We thought we were going left. We ended up turning right at the last second. You know what I mean? Undead Unluck has done that a couple of times. Let's chill out until we get actual confirmation that the series is ending. Then I will say, yeah, this sucks. You know? Or, not that it sucks, that it's like, shit, this is actually getting rushed. Once again, a better series with far better art, Undead Unluck. Right there. Yeah, guys, go read Undead Unluck instead. All honesty. In all honesty. So, yeah. Thanks for the 7 likes, guys. Try to bump that up to 8 before the stream ends. If you can. If anybody's still left in here that still likes it. For all I know, I got quite a few dislikes on this, so I might not bump up to 8. But if we can get 8 likes before we end the stream, that's great. Probably going to get a couple of likes. We'll probably hit the double-digit likes after the stream when the VOD's up and everything like that. But, yeah. But we're probably going to get more dislikes than likes. I'm going to be honest with you. We're probably going to see more dislikes on the VOD than likes anyways. There we go. Thanks, guys. We got 8 likes right before the end of the stream. I would have loved to hit the double digits, but I don't think we're going to end up getting there. That's all right, though. It is what it is, man. 9 likes. 9 likes. Oh, thanks, guys. Only 1 like away. You know, I only expected to get about 2 likes because nobody likes my take on Jujutsu Kaisen for a long time now. But I think a lot of you cats in this stream might not agree with every point I've made, but are of the like mindset that I like Jujutsu Kaisen. I think you're too harsh on it, but my god, yeah, this ending was crap. You're not wrong. You know what I mean? So, I do appreciate that. Antor said, this sucks, man, but you got 8 likes now. Yeah, thanks, and now we got 9. So we're going to end the stream just before 10 likes, which once again, the VOD will collect anything else and stuff. And I do this or upload this or choose it for any other purpose. I didn't think a lot of you cats would be in here. So thank you very much for everyone who showed up to this stream. Because I honestly thought, oh, Griever's talking Jujutsu Kaisen with an ending that not even the fans like. There's no way I'm going to watch him rant for 3.5 fucking hours and shitting on my favorite series. You know what I mean? I expected most people to just not even hit the thumbnail, look at it and go, absolutely fucking not. So, I do appreciate you guys who did show up, especially the cats in the chat. Of course, Caden, as always coming through like a trooper. Philip was in here for a while. Frostleaf. Who else? Frostleaf was here. Rishi, who apparently said I was talking too much. Odd for a stream reaction. But next time, guys, I'll stream for 3 hours and currently 49 minutes, and I won't say a word, just so I don't yap too much. Then we had Frostleaf, Samuel Munzo. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Samuel was in here. Had a lot of great comments too. Thank you. Francisco was in here. Just to say shut up. I don't know to Caden or to me, but and Anton was in here, and Mandrake 9 to 5 was in here. And I think that, and Tenryo was in here just after Anton joined. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for everyone who liked. Thanks for the ones who stuck around. And as I said, special thanks. That's why I list off all the names. All you guys who make the chat, because there's no point in doing a live stream if I don't get a good chat rolling. If I don't get a good chat rolling, I might as well just make a recorded video where I can edit out where I yap too much or go off on a tangent or something that I can edit and record. I might as well do that if I don't get a chat. So I always appreciate and try to shout out everyone who comes into a chat. Because that's the only difference. That's what makes a live stream different from a video. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the big distinction. So thanks guys so much. Thanks for the 9 likes. Anton, thank you for the stream. No, thank you for watching it. So that was Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a 4 at best for me now. Yeah. I hope you guys... I hope you enjoyed it better than mine, but I hope you don't follow Gege's next series, and I hope you don't give him the satisfaction of him disrespecting you guys any further. So, that's it from me. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And sayonara, everybody.